3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live from the Newsmax studios, this is the Steve Malzberg Show. Be a part of the action by calling toll-free 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Or email Steve at malzbergshow@newsmax.com. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, folks, welcome to the Friday edition of the Steve Malzberg Show. Glad you are aboard. We have a big show in store for you. Stephen Moore, Wall Street Journal, joins us in just a little while. Kendall Coffey and I go spinning the law. Then we'll be joined in studio by criminal defense attorney, CNN legal analyst Mark O'Mara to talk a little bit about George Zimmerman and some other assorted legal issues. Noel Shepard on Malzberg's Media Madness. He will be here to join us. We'll have Dan Bongino, former Secret Service, guarded the life of President Obama and President George W. Bush. He left. He's running for Congress. We will talk to him live in studio. Scott Taylor, former Navy SEAL and founder of OPSEC. He will join us to talk about Benghazi. And then Carol Swain and Quanell X. Quanell X, the spokesman for the new Black Panther Party, will be here to talk about this knockout game, quote unquote, this crime committed under the guise of a game called Knockout, where teenagers, from what I've seen, from what I've seen on video and from what I've read, mostly black teenagers knocking people out, cold cocking them from behind, from the side, blindsiding them, or walking right up to them and just going out and boom, the hardest punch they could throw to try to knock that person out. People have died hitting their heads as they fall down. People have suffered injury, severe injury. We'll talk about what's going on with that. So a lot on our collective plates today. Even though it's Friday, the news does not stop. Now, 50 years ago today, of course, the assassination of JFK. I was 4.5, so I don't remember where I was. I do for some reason remember being at my grandmother's house in Brooklyn, where I was growing up. I don't know if that was the day of the assassination. After school, we went there. I don't know, and I do remember watching the funeral. That I do remember watching, but I can't say I remember exactly where I was when JFK was assassinated. You know, that's a little too young to go back and remember. And I watched a special on CNN last night with my son. And I watched footage that maybe I had seen before, but I didn't remember. I mean, of Oswald speaking to the media when he was taken into custody, when he was being led from one holding cell to the next, and I didn't do it, and and no one ever said that I did it, and no one even asked me yet if I killed the president, and hearing him talk, and then watching him being, which I do recall seeing now, it's in my mind's eye, when they put him on the gurney into the ambulance after Jack Ruby had shot him. But to see the close-up of the shooting, I always felt they just, for a police force that was so worried, openly, verbally warning and worried about security for Oswald, my God, they basically walked him out with one guy on each end saying, "Come on, you want to get him? Here he is." That's how I always felt, and it reinforced it when I saw it yesterday. So, a tragedy for our nation, certainly. We had an author on with a great book on Kennedy who insists, and I have talked about this for a long time, JFK would not fit into today's Democratic Party. He could be Obama's hero. He could be Harry Reid's hero. He could be Joe Biden's hero. He could be Hillary Clinton's hero. He would not recognize today's Democratic Party because he was pro-tax cut for economic growth. He was strength, a strong defense. And strength through defense. He was very strong. Cuban Missile Crisis, etc. He thought the Soviet Union, he hated the Soviet Union, said they were godless. Okay, can you picture our president saying another nation, he doesn't like another nation because they're godless? Right to life. I mean, this man was a Democratic conservative, but back then that was mainstream Democrat. Now they're radical leftists intent on instilling their own agenda at whatever the cost. Whatever the cost. Which takes us back to what happened yesterday with the getting rid of the filibuster for judicial appointments and nominees. undoing over 100+ years of tradition in the Senate, which is not supposed to be like the House, and breaking the rules to change the rules. Now, Harry Reid, I want you to hear Harry Reid, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Reid back in 2005. Harry Reid, who yesterday talked about why they had to do what they did. This is him in 2005. Listen to cut 29.
The first filibuster in the United States Congress happened in 1790. It was used by lawmakers from Virginia and South Carolina who were trying to prevent Philadelphia from hosting the first Congress. Since then, the filibuster has been employed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. It's been employed on legislative matters. It's been employed on procedural matters relating to the president's nominations for cabinet and sub-cabinet posts, and it's been used on judges for all those years. One scholar estimates that 20% of the judges nominated by presidents have fallen by the wayside, most of them as a result of filibusters.
Now, he's not arguing to get rid of the filibuster. He's arguing, giving you all this information in defense of the filibuster back in 05. Listen to cut number 30.
Senators have used the filibuster to stand up to popular presidents, to block legislation, yes, even as I've stated, to stall executive nominees. The roots of the filibuster are found in the Constitution and in our own rules.
There you go. Harry Reid wanted the filibuster back in 2005. So did Joe Biden. Listen to Joe Biden, cut 31.
There's one thing I've learned in my years here. Once you change the rules and surrender the Senate's institutional power, you never get it back. And we're about to break the rules to change the rules. I don't want to hear about fair play from my friends. Under our rules, you're required to get a 2/3 vote. 60 votes to change the rules. Watch what happens. Watch what happens when the majority leader stands up and says to the vice president, if we go forward with this, and he calls the question. And one of us, I expect our leader, the Democratic side, will stand up and say, parliamentary inquiry, Mr. President, is this parliamentarily appropriate? And in every other case since I've been here for 32 years, the presiding officer leans down to the parliamentarian and says, what's the rule, Mr. Parliamentarian? The parliamentarian turns and tells him, hold your breath, parliamentarian. He's not going to look to you because he knows what you would say. He would say, this is not parliamentarily appropriate. You cannot change the Senate rules by a pure majority vote.
Oh, yes, you can. Harry Reid did it yesterday with your approval, Mr. Vice President. These people are as phony as $3 bills. He's railing against the Republicans, who, by the way, did not change the rules. They did not do it in 05. But you hear how hysterical he's getting. And that's exactly what Harry Reid did. He changed the rules he broke the rules to change the rules. Cut number 32.
Watch on television. Watch when this happens. And watch the vice president ignore. He's not required to look to an unelected officer. But that has been the practice for 218 years. He will not look down and say, what is the ruling? He will make the ruling, which is a lie about the rule.
Yep. He is describing exactly what Harry Reid did yesterday. Harry Reid, who in 05 went to the floor of the Senate and lauded the filibuster, bragged that it stopped judicial appointments. And there was Joe Biden in 05 saying they are going to break the rule to change the rule. And now these two men have led the charge and have done exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing 8 years later. We're coming back with Stephen Moore, Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Do you have trouble remembering things you've known for years? Do you want to maintain your mental edge, support your memory, focus, and attention? After extensive research, Dr. Russell Blaylock discovered 4 essential nutrients that help sustain optimal brain function. Dr. Russell Blaylock then personally formulated Crescio, the dietary supplement containing these 4 brain boosters that promote brain cognitive health, improve learning and retention. Crescio supports brain circulation and provides antioxidant protection. And now you can receive a 30-day supply of Crescio. All you pay is a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit Crescio.com/special. Act now and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, Nature's Brain Boosters, Essential Nutrients for Peak Mental Performance. Give your brain the healthy support it needs. Learn how you can receive your 30-day supply at Crescio.com/special. That's CRESCEO.com/special. Crescio.com/special.
3 a.m. and you're up again for the 3rd time. It's not just affecting your sleep, it's interrupting your daily life. Frequent trips to the bathroom due to an aging prostate is a common concern, but you can now do something about it with Prostate Revive. Doctor-formulated Prostate Revive is an all-natural dietary supplement packed with 15 powerful ingredients, focused on improving prostate health by targeting the 2 main sources of prostate concerns, rogue testosterone and inflammation. And now, in this limited time radio offer, you can try Prostate Revive absolutely free. That's a free bottle, a 30-day supply of Prostate Revive, risk-free. Plus, if you call right now, you'll also receive our free report, A Doctor's Guide to a Healthy Prostate. Call now for details on getting your free bottle, plus our doctor's report. Call 1-800-659-REVIVE. That's 1-800-659-REVIVE. Don't be a victim of an aging prostate. Start getting the sleep you need and get your life back with Prostate Revive. Claim your risk-free bottle now at 1-800-659.
Are payday loans ruining your life? If you have 2 or more payday loan cash advances, listen closely. You may be eligible for a program that payday loan companies don't want you to know about.
This program will get payday loan companies out of your bank account and put an end to the payday loan nightmare. Call for free information and find out if Payday Loan Support Center is right for you. Payday loan companies usually trap you into paying rates as high as 700%. We understand payday lenders' tactics. Don't let them take advantage of you anymore. All you need is 2 or more payday loans to qualify. We can help even if you're behind in collections or have bad credit.
Internet payday loans qualify for this program as well. So call 800-250-5084. That's 800-250-5084. The call is free and the consultation is free. Don't miss out. Call for your free information on payday loan relief. 800-250-5084. That's 800-250-5084. Again, 800-250-5084.
Hi, this is Mike Reagan. Folks ask me, what would Ronald Reagan do if he were with us today? I believe the first thing he'd do is stop Obamacare. Already it's in effect with higher taxes, hidden fees, skyrocketing insurance rates, big Medicare cuts, and some insurance plans are hit with a 40% tax. Protect yourself by getting the Obamacare Survival Guide. It's already a #1 New York Times bestseller. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law, giving you the strategies, tips, and loopholes you need to know. If you're insured on Medicare, a business owner, a medical professional, just about anyone, you need this book. Get the #1 bestseller, The Obamacare Survival Guide, at bookstores everywhere. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by going now to Obamacare911.com. Obamacare911.com. That's Obamacare911.com.
Get off the sidelines and be a part of the show. Call Steve toll free at 1-877-Newsmax. That's 1-877-639-7629. Here is Steve Malzberg.
We've got one guy in charge of the Senate, and basically he's become dictator of the Senate. He's going to bend and break the rules until he gets his way, but he also is not going to let any amendments come from the minority. So we have a really tight ship up here.
All right, there's Senator Rand Paul on CNN yesterday talking about Harry Reid and becoming the dictator of the Senate. Welcome back. Steve Malzberg Show, and joining us right now is our friend Stephen Moore of the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal. Hello, Stephen.
Hey, Steve. Great to be with you.
Well, it's great to have you. All right, so a lot of speculation on, Mitch McConnell took to the floor after this vote doing away with the filibuster for judicial nominees and other nominees, and said you're going to regret it, and maybe sooner than you think. What ramifications do you see, if any, that this change of procedure, this change of rules in the Senate would have for the economy?
Well, let's step back a minute, Steve, because this is such a critically important move. I thought this was one of the most shameless power grabs I've seen in Washington in 25 years. And I know a lot of people kind of their eyes may glaze over about some of these Senate rules, but this is such an important one. And it goes to really the essence of what our system of representative democracy is about. It's about, as you know, Steve, the protection of the rights of the minorities. We are not a majority rules country. The ingeniousness of our Constitution is that it protects the rights of minorities, right? And just because you have 4 votes and I have 3 doesn't mean you can run roughshod over me. And yet that is what has happened here, where, in fact, Steve, you can tell I've got smoke coming out of my ears here because I'm so angry about this.
Yep.
This is something that basically says that the Democrats, we have more votes than you do, so we can just do whatever we want to. We can run roughshod over 100 years of tradition in the Senate. And you know, you asked me what ramifications this is going to have on the economy. And the answer to that, Steve, is number one, now you're going to get these left-wing judges that are going to be packed into the courts, right? And a lot of these major decisions that do affect the economy with respect to environmental regulations, tax laws, Obamacare, these are now going to be adjudicated by left-wing Obama judges. Now, you and I know which way they're going to rule on these things. And second of all, when you talk about these regulatory agencies that are now going to be stocked with liberal left-wing pro-regulation Obama appointees with 51 votes in the Senate, that could do serious damage to our economy over the next 3 years.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And also, I think Mel Watt, the Democrat from North Carolina, he'll be now to be able to be confirmed to FHFA.
And he's the guy who gave us one of the guys who gave us the housing crisis.
Absolutely.
I mean, talk about putting the wolf in charge of the sheep house.
It is. It's insanity. And when you hear, I just played before you came on, Steve, I played sound bites of Joe Biden in 2005 saying you can't change the rules you can't break the rules to change the rules, and Harry Reid lamenting how great the filibuster is in 2005, even saying that it holds up judicial nominees. He was happy about that. And now these two guys led the charge to just do exactly the opposite.
And, Steve, let me say this. There is hypocrisy on both sides of the aisle here. I want to be very clear on this. Back in 2005, you're right, the Republicans tried to get rid of the filibuster so they could get through Bush appointments. I want to be clear on this. You know, I was always against that because I believe that this protection of the rights of the minority is so core to what makes our country great and protects the rights of the minority from mob rule, right?
Right.
And so I told Republicans at the time, you're making a mistake here. In fact, I wish it took 75 votes to pass anything out of the Senate. I want to make it more difficult for Congress to pass laws, not easier, because when they pass laws, they stick their hand in your and my wallet.
Yeah. No, look, without a doubt, and the Republicans did not change it back then, and the Democrats went full steam ahead and did change it, invoking the so-called nuclear option. Let's move on. Talking to Stephen Moore, Wall Street.
Let me make one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Because it's so important, Steve. I mean, what this really indicates is that, and we see this in every area of public policy now coming out of Congress and this White House. It's basically they believe that they are on some kind of righteous mission, right? And whatever they have to do to bend the rules, to melt down the rules, to change the rules, that's okay, right? Because they are righteous. And this is a very dangerous kind of mentality that we're seeing in Washington over and over and over again.
Yeah, well, President Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela, he thinks he's righteous too, and he just
exactly.
he just granted himself.
I thought he was righteous, right?
Yeah, he just granted himself some new powers in Venezuela, to control prices and profits in the business sector, and of course
right.
it's for it's for the greater good. Which segues into healthcare in the 2 minutes we have left, Steve, and we need 2 days to talk about this. But from an economic standpoint, a business standpoint, it's more screwed up than if he had just left it alone and said, nope, You're going to lose your policy? Too bad. I lied. You lose your policy. Now he's got insurance companies scrambling and people in limbo, and doctors don't know what insurance a person has. It's a chaotic disaster.
I can't really say much to that. I mean, you're exactly right. I'm writing a piece right now on this health insurance tax.
Well, you could quote me on that then, Steve.
All right. Well, if you're not angry enough about Obamacare, here's something that has been overlooked, that on January, we all thought, at least the employer mandate has been delayed by 1 year, and therefore small businesses won't be hit until January of 2015. Wrong. There's a big tax on small business health plans that takes effect on January 1st of 2014. Did you know that?
Nope.
And this is it's called the health insurance tax. It's going to be passed on to, and by the way, the union plans are exempt from the tax. Isn't it funny how that happened?
Yep.
And this is a tax that will cost the average small businessman and woman about $150 per employee.
That is insane. That is, look. I can't even believe where we are in this country. Steve, I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Steve.
Stephen Moore, executive editorial board member at the Wall Street Journal, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. It is so frightening. I say it all the time. I don't mean to scare you. I mean to educate you, get you to think. I know I'm preaching to the choir if you're listening or watching. But you got to tell your friends, you got to get the word out there about the dire straits that we are in as a nation, economically, when it comes to foreign policy, when it comes to domestic policy on every level, regulatory. I mean, you name it. And what they just did in the Senate, as Steve alluded to, is going to doom us in so many ways for so many decades to come with what happened in the courts. Okay, when we come back, Kendall Coffey and I go spitting the law. And you know where we're doing that, don't you? Right here on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Hi, this is Mike Reagan. You need to watch out because thousands of new Obamacare rules are currently being implemented, and few know what the law says or does. Listen to what Senator Max Baucus, one of the authors of the Obamacare law, recently said.
I tell you, I just see a huge train wreck coming down, and I don't see any results yet. I just see a huge train wreck.
He's right. So protect yourself from this train wreck. Get the #1 bestseller, the Obamacare Survival Guide. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law. Join more than 500,000 Americans who have their copy. Get the Obamacare Survival Guide at bookstores everywhere. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by going now to Obamacare911.com. That's Obamacare911.com. That's Obamacare911.com.
Do you owe the IRS? Do you have unfiled tax returns? Have you received a wage garnishment or bank levy? Maybe a lien has been filed against you. OMG Tax can help you with all your IRS tax problems. Don't wait another second. Take action now. Call my team at OMG Tax. Honest and professional, we don't make false promises. If you owe back taxes or if the IRS is garnishing your paycheck, you need help now. OMG Tax can help you get your life back to normal. If you're serious about handling your tax matter, call OMG Tax now and get the peace of mind you deserve. Don't let the IRS take your next paycheck. Stop waiting and call our team at OMG Tax. OMG Tax has a straightforward, no-nonsense approach and has helped many Americans resolve their IRS nightmare. Call OMG Tax now.
Call 1-800-255-6485. That's 1-800-255-6485. 800-255-6485.
Heart disease is the biggest killer disease in America, and this doesn't surprise me. We are addicted to starches, sugars, fatty meats, and salt. People who live in countries with little heart disease eat very differently. One way some people stay heart healthy is by following what is known as the caveman or Stonehenge diet, so named because of its similarity to the way our prehistoric ancestors ate. People who follow this type of diet live off local fruits and root vegetables and get their protein mostly from fish and wild game they shoot themselves. Now, since most of us don't hunt or fish for all our protein, here are some simple tips on how you can start to eat like a caveman, modern day style. First, fill up on fruits and vegetables. Eat them first and you'll be less hungry. Feast on fish, which is rich in nutrients but not in calories. Choose fatty fish like mackerel, herring, sardines, and salmon, which are rich in heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids. Get out and go for a walk. Remember, our ancestors were hunters and gatherers, so they didn't spend their time sitting in front of a TV or computer all day. If you live more like a caveman or a cave woman, your heart will love you for it. I'm Dr. Chauncey Crandall, and thank you for watching this Heart Health Minute. Remember, it's never too late to prevent or reverse heart disease. Right now, I invite you to discover your own risk for heart disease or even a heart attack by taking my quick, free online quiz at www.simplehearttest.com.
You have the right to remain silent, but we'd prefer if you didn't.
Spinning the law, spinning the law.
This is Malzberg's
Spinning the law.
Spinning the Law.
Spinning the law, spinning the law.
With attorney Kendall Coffey.
There we go. Welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. I like the way on the screen they got Kendall Coffey's autograph being written as they play the music. It's very sophisticated here on the Steve Malzberg Show. And joining us on this Friday edition for Spinning the Law is the one and only Kendall Coffey. Hello, sir.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for having me back.
Are you kidding me? Thanks for having you back. Thank you for coming back. Now, Elian Gonzalez, in your fine book, Spinning the Law, which talks about so many of the high-profile things you've been involved in, and talk about Elian Gonzalez, because he's in the news and he had some things to say, but talk about what your involvement was.
Well, I actually, at some point later on in the case, became one of the lead lawyers and argued the federal appeal and argued a number of the issues, was very, very involved in the case, and we represented Elian and his U.S. relatives and literally did battle against two governments at the same time, the government of Fidel Castro and
Janet Reno.
The government of the United States, and Clinton and Reno, who were aligned, at least on this one, with the Castro government.
And Elian Gonzalez is in the news. He said that his time in, that was back in 99 and 2000, by the way, and he said that they were very sad times for me, which marked me for my whole life. I was never given the chance to have a moment to think about my mother, who, as a result of that Cuban Adjustment Act, died at sea. He's now 19 years old, and he was 5 years old when it all happened. He said he suffered the consequences of that law. He said they also violated my basic rights gathered in the UN Convention of Rights of the Child, the right to be together with my father, the right to keep my nationality and to remain in my cultural context. He sounds like a good indoctrinated young Cuban man.
Well, let me tell you, he was very happy to be in the United States when he was here. He said he wanted to stay. Of course, he wanted his father to be with him.
Right.
But he was very happy to be here at the time. We predicted at the time that he would become a trophy of the Castro regime.
I remember you said that, yep.
He would be indoctrinated, and he would be fed a script to say whatever the regime wanted him to say. You and your listeners can decide whether that dire prediction has come to pass. But with respect to his mother, which is someone that we all felt very strongly about, she did sacrifice her life to bring her son to a life of freedom.
Right, to get him out of Cuba.
And many have lost their lives to come here, and it's a reminder, Steve, of how incredibly lucky we are to live in this country. Because believe me, 90% of the rest of the world would give most anything to be here, where you and I walk and breathe and enjoy life every day.
Yeah, and so you're not surprised at all by the remarks and the comments made publicly by Gonzalez at this point.
It's what, sadly enough, we had predicted from the beginning.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's talk about our Supreme Court, who earlier in the week on a 5-4 vote, it was Tuesday, I believe, decided to leave, in effect, a provision requiring doctors who perform abortions in clinics to have admitting privileges at a nearby hospital. We had talked about this as one of the unusual provisions or tough provisions in the Texas abortion or anti-abortion, as some would call it, law. And by that 5-4 vote, the court upheld that for now. So what does that tell you about the court, about this issue going forward, possibly?
Well, we also talked about how the anti-abortion strategies with respect to the judicial development have been very thoughtful. Planning, looking down the road, counting votes in terms of the Supreme Court, and not simply saying Roe versus Wade is a terrible decision, please overrule it, but looking for specific strategic points to advance their cause. 5-4, it sounds like a close vote, but it could be momentous. Normally, when a court says 5-4, we're going to leave the law in place on something like this, it suggests to me that 5 justices may be prepared to uphold the Texas law on this, significant issue. And if that's the case, this ruling, which may have looked procedural, although it obviously affected many in Texas, this ruling could be of dramatic importance.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, and it's going to be very interesting and exciting for those in the pro-life movement to see, to what extent the court is willing to go along and down this road. Let's talk a little bit about also something involving Eric Holder. And, of course, Eric Holder, he wanted to appeal a contempt verdict, or he was cited for contempt by the House of Representatives, looking for subpoenas and documents related to Fast and Furious. And because he was not forthcoming, according to the Congress, they voted to hold him in contempt. And a judge has refused Holder's request to be allowed to appeal the process.
The committee, yeah, exactly. The Committee on Oversight and Government Reform in the House of Representatives literally brought a lawsuit against Eric Holder to enforce its subpoenas for documents, which were, of course, opposed by the Department of Justice. Holder and DOJ moved to dismiss. That motion was denied, and then they said, look, this case is, 1, very significant, 2, we think we have a good probability of winning this issue on appeal, asking the court to allow them. It's a specific federal. That request was denied, which means that there will be no appeal for now, and that Holder and DOJ are going to have to respond to the lawsuit. And there's going to be some very, very interesting issues and potentially some access to documents in the coming months.
Now, the judge noted that while she was turning down his request for the appeal, she is yet to rule on whether the documents have been improperly withheld from the committee under a claim of executive privilege. And if she makes such a finding, from what I understand, an appeal would be open at the conclusion of the case. So in other words, if she interjects herself into this further, then that opens the door for an appeal on the documents or on the subpoena itself. I mean, I'm a little confused.
Well, actually, you described it very well. You may be able to do this segment without me, Steve. But the issue really is just as you said. She has not ruled on which documents have to be turned over. She simply said that Eric Holder, Attorney General of the United States, is subject to a lawsuit in federal court over this issue. If, as and when the lawsuit or parts of it are decided, for example, if there's an issue of contempt, then there could be, with respect to the documents that are ordered turned over, there could be some appellate rights down the line. But between now and then, there could be a lot of fascinating developments, Steve.
All right, let's touch on George Zimmerman, and we're actually going to speak to Mark O'Mara a little bit later in the show, his former attorney. And we're talking to Kendall Coffey here on our segment Spinning the Law on the Steve Malzberg Show. Zimmerman can't stay out of trouble. Nonetheless, the media, who was outraged that he was acquitted, they're kind of using everything. Interviews on Katie Couric by his estranged wife, who's going through a divorce. Every one of these episodes, even though there are two sides to every story, and if you want to give the benefit of the doubt to Zimmerman, you certainly can. We had one instance where he was his ex-wife had called police and claimed that he had beaten up her father and pointed a gun at her, and then she recanted basically and said, "I never saw the gun," and the father wasn't injured. So we don't know yet what happened here. But I actually heard the question asked on CNN by an anchor or a host to a legal expert: does this change, legally speaking, the verdict or in any way, shape, or form the case that was adjudicated in Florida? And that's the stupidest question I ever heard from anybody who's supposed to know that. I mean, Zimmerman could come out and confess, as O.J. could have confessed, and they couldn't be retried on the case they were acquitted of, correct?
Well, of course, that case is over. And of course, and there may be speculation. Well, don't these domestic incidents, which seem to involve allegations of anger, and in one case, the second one, perhaps actually the alleged display of a firearm, does it prove that George Zimmerman was a bad guy all along? And I would say, not in our system. That case is over. He was acquitted. Whatever one thinks of the verdict last summer, our system has to respect the jury process. As to this issues, he's a controversial guy, but what about a presumption of innocence? Why don't we let the process play out? And if, in fact, he's guilty, his attorneys, whoever's representing him now, they're not going to be crazy. They may seek a resolution with the prosecutors. But one way or another, we should know enough by now to know that the details aren't crystallized. The facts have not come out yet. Let's let this play out before we reach any conclusions at this point.
All right, we got one more for you, and this is out of Columbus, Ohio. The Supreme Court of Ohio said that a school district was legally justified in firing a science teacher who refused orders to remove classroom displays of religious materials. There were 3 justices dissenting. The Supreme Court ruling that the Mount Vernon district had grounds to fire John Freshwater for insubordination for keeping religious books and a poster of a president praying. They say that this district infringed on his First Amendment rights by ordering the removal of his personal Bible, but found he was insubordinate for keeping the other items. This make sense?
Well, if you look at current law, it may make some sense. Remember, the justice of a state Supreme Court who basically lost his job because he had the 10 Commandments on the courthouse wall. So under the current law, this probably is an accurate picture of what the Supreme Court has done to now, protecting his right to have a personal Bible there, but saying that if you are ordered by your superiors to take down other religious displays, you disobey that, you run the risk of being insubordinate at your peril. I think that's accurately describing the law of today, Steve. But stay tuned. There could be some developments in the coming years.
All right, my friend. Listen, have yourself a great Thanksgiving, and we will reconvene, to use your language, in 2 weeks, God willing. And thank you really for all you do for us and for being there with your busy schedule. I really do appreciate your perspective and your friendship.
Hey, thank you, Steve, for everything.
All right, speak to you soon. Kendall Coffey, ladies and gentlemen, founding member of Coffey Burlington and author of Spinning the Law, and the featured guest on the Spinning the Law segment with Kendall Coffey, which usually takes place on Thursdays at the midway point of our show. But this week, we did it on Friday. Why? Because we can. That's why. Don't take me to task. They love when I say take me to task. All right, when we come back, we are going to be joined by Daniel Hannan, British journalist and member of the EU Parliament. That's right. Can't wait for that. And we're going to talk about inventing freedom, how the English-speaking peoples made the modern world. Also, I'm sure he'll have something to say about Harry Reid and the Democrats changing and breaking the rules of the Senate yesterday and breaking with over 100 years of Senate tradition and making a mockery of the U.S. Senate right now in order to push through anything Barack Obama wants pushed through. Thank God we have the House, but the House can't intervene on judges, and that's going to be a big problem for this country for decades to come. But we'll talk to Daniel next hour. Noel Shepard, Dan Bongino, former presidential Secret Service agent, will be here live in studio, and so much more. Quanell X will be here later. That's right, new Black Panther Party to talk about this knockout nonsense. All on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio. Don't go away.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
In 2013.
Meet John and Nancy. They've spent their lives working hard and saving money, knowing that it would pay off in the end. But unfortunately, all that hard work and smart investing has gotten them nowhere. Then one day, John and Nancy picked up a free copy of Powerful Secrets to Achieve Superior Returns. This book revealed 24 little-known investments that put them back on track to a happy and secure retirement. Get your free copy of Powerful Secrets at myfinancialage.org.
Attention seniors and baby boomers. A new website has been created just for you. SocialSecurity311.com. At SocialSecurity311.com, we reveal a weird trick that could help you add $152,000 to your Social Security payouts. For example, did you know how you file for Social Security can dramatically change the amount of money you collect? One simple step could add up to $1,000 to your monthly payouts. And other loopholes we found reveal 33 ways for big savings on your health care. At SocialSecurity311.com, you will also discover how you could save up to 50% on your groceries, along with 49 other ways to save as much as $50,000 starting today. Newsmax says this website is a critical resource for anyone over the age of 50. So go to SocialSecurity311.com now to find out how you could add extra money to your Social Security checks. That's SocialSecurity311.com. SocialSecurity311.com.
Have you hit a brick wall with your weight loss? Does your weight management plan need an extra edge for success? If so, listen up. Metabio is the revolutionary weight loss breakthrough designed to help you reach your goal weight as part of your diet and exercise program. Metabio is the premium nutritional supplement power-packed with 5 high-quality ingredients. When used as part of a healthy lifestyle, each component is formulated to help you reach your goals and maintain your optimal weight and wellness. It supports healthy metabolism and promotes fat loss. Now, learn how you can try a 30-day supply of Metabio. Just cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit themetabio.com/special. Act now and also receive instant access to our downloadable special report, a practical guide to healthy weight management. Try it now at themetabio.com/special. That's the metabio.com/special. While supplies last. themetabio.com/special.
In 2013, half of your friends, family, and neighbors may lose their jobs, all while you are robbed of 90% of your life savings, investments, and home's value. Controversial economist Robert Wiedemer, who was the only expert to predict the recession, has released a startling video with shocking evidence that the powers that be have tried to ban. But that hasn't stopped 50 million people from getting the truth. Watch it at AftershockVideo.com. AftershockVideo.com.
Judging from everything you hear, you think all cholesterol is bad, but that's not really true. You need a certain amount of cholesterol to maintain good health. The problem is that too much cholesterol in your blood contributes to a plaque, a fatty substance that narrows the coronary arteries that feed blood flow to your heart. Picture your coronary arteries as a 4-lane highway. If one lane becomes blocked, traffic still flows well. 2 lanes, no major problem. But if a 3rd lane becomes blocked, that spells trouble. It's the same way with your coronary arteries. And when plaque slows their blood flow to your heart, this can even cause a heart attack. The good news is that when it comes to cholesterol, lifestyle changes can pay off big time. Even a small reduction in plaque can be like opening up another highway lane. Suddenly, blood flow that was stalled can go forward again. Changing your lifestyle does not have to be hard. And in fact, here are 3 ways to help you start lowering your cholesterol. Snack on nuts. Nuts are probably one of the easiest and tastiest ways to lower cholesterol. Walnuts and almonds are among the best. Bulk up your diet with fiber. Choose whole fruits instead of a fruit juice, brown rice instead of white, and if you're eating a baked potato, be sure to leave the skin on. Choose fish. Fish contains cholesterol-fighting omega-3 fatty acids. I'm Dr. Chauncey Crandall, and thanks for watching this Heart Health Minute. Remember, it's never too late to prevent or reverse heart disease. Right now, I invite you to discover your own risk for heart disease or even a heart attack by taking my quick, free online quiz at www.simplehearttest.com.
Get off the sidelines and be a part of the show. Call Steve toll-free at 1-877-Newsmax. That's 1-877-639-7629. Here is Steve Malzberg.
Where our treasuries are empty, our credit is exhausted, our people discontented, our governments remote and discredited. Now, I'm sure you can guess which way this argument is moving. If you repeat our mistakes, if you shift power from the 50 states to Washington, from the elected representative to the federal czar, from the citizen to the state, we know exactly what lies in store for you. I've been a member of the European Parliament for 12 years. I am living in your future, or at least the future towards which your present leaders seem intent on taking you. And believe me, my friends, you are not going to enjoy it.
Yeah, no kidding. And welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. That man who is wearing, I think, the same tie that I'm wearing right now, or not the same tie, but the same kind of tie, looks the same, is Daniel Hannan. He is a British journalist, member of the European Parliament, as you heard, representing South East England for the Conservative Party. And he is the author of a brand new book, Inventing Freedom, How the English-Speaking Peoples Made the Modern World. I hold that book up in my hands, and we welcome in Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Hey, Steve.
I got to tell you, first of all, how dare you write such a racist, bigoted, xenophobic title to your book?
Well,
you must be getting a lot of heat from that. But before we get to that, and before we get to all that, you must have strong opinions on what Harry Reid and the Democrats did to the U.S. Senate yesterday, breaking the rules to change the rules, making the Senate basically like the House of Representatives now.
Sure. I mean, one way of summarizing Anglosphere exceptionalism is in John Adams's phrase, a government of laws, not of men, right? The rules are above the people who play by the rules. That may sound obvious, but it's pretty unique, and it's why our countries remained free and how we understand freedom under the law to work. Now, for what it's worth, I think the president is wrong in his interpretation of what the founders envisioned for the Senate. I think they precisely intended the Senate to be a conservative break on the radicalism of the popular chamber. I think that delay is not an abuse of Senate functions. It is the Senate's function. But you know what? Say I'm wrong about that. Let's say that Obama is right and I'm wrong. He is still not the guy who should get to decide because he is a player on the pitch. He can't be the referee. And that's what the rule of law means.
No, without a doubt. And, you know, when you stand there at CPAC and basically tell the United States that they're headed towards socialism and even Greece, possibly. That's not good news, but you are so on target. And I think it's even worse than that in this country right now with what happened yesterday, which means the judges will be stocked on the benches for 40 years to come with lifetime appointments, all with Obama's political philosophy. And there's nothing we could do about it.
I mean, the normal thing in the world is that people get into power and then they rig the rules to suit themselves, right? That happens in most of Africa, in most of Asia, in most of South America, and even in most of Europe. We are really lucky, we English-speaking peoples, to inhabit countries where there is freedom under the law, where individual liberty is guaranteed, and where the guy in charge doesn't get to make things up as he goes along. But that is a precious and unique heritage, and it is up to all of us to preserve it.
Have you gotten pushback, Daniel, on the claims in the book? I mean, the book is so well written, and the book is so documents and is the truth. Yet, of course, in today's modern era, with our kids would never learn this in school.
Well, I mean, I think there is now a class of people who are looking to accuse other people of chauvinism or bigotry or racism, almost on principle and pretty much regardless of what we say or write. But I mean, if you read this book, you will find that my thesis is that Anglosphere values have nothing to do with territory or ethnicity or ancestry, and everything to do with institutions. The reason why the child of Greek parents in Melbourne is happier and freer than his cousin in Mytilene has nothing to do with race and everything to do with political structures. The Anglosphere values can work anywhere. They are why Bermuda is not Haiti, why Hong Kong is not China, why Singapore is not Indonesia.
You know, you say something very profound. I mean, do you mean that for the entire West? And if you do, based on what? Where would we be heading?
Well, on most measures, the country is reaching its twilight. But that doesn't mean that our values are finished, because, as I say, they can take root anywhere. The Indian professor Madhavdas Nalapat put it very well when he said the Anglosphere is based on a blood of the mind, not a blood of the body. I actually am fairly optimistic. I'm particularly optimistic about India. It is the largest Anglophone common law democracy. If India self-defines primarily as an Anglosphere democracy rather than as an Asian superpower, then I think the 21st century is a much brighter place.
How is Barack Obama viewed in your circles?
Well, I mean, if his electorate were made up of commentators and politicians in Europe, then his approval ratings would be 90% rather than 38% or whatever they are. But, of course, that's not how the founders drew up your Constitution.
No, that's absolutely true. Okay, listen, a fascinating topic, Daniel. Good luck with the book. Daniel Hannan, the book Inventing Freedom, How the English-Speaking Peoples Made the Modern World. And I hope to speak to you again, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
My pleasure. All right, folks, when we come back, we're going to be joined in studio, I'm very happy to say, by George Zimmerman's former attorney and CNN legal analyst and defense attorney, Mark O'Mara. So don't go away. Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Okay, this will interest anyone.
When you were younger, you probably never considered your heart health. But cardiologist Dr. Chauncey Crandall knows from experience that taking steps to care for your heart becomes more crucial as the decades pass, if you want to keep this vital organ ticking smoothly for years to come. That's why Dr. Crandall recently developed Cardio Advanced, a nutritional supplement containing 12 special ingredients, all selected to help improve and maintain your heart health and normal cholesterol levels. The flagship of this exclusive formula, esterified plant sterols, may help lower your risk of heart disease when taken as part of a diet low in cholesterol and fat. And great news, now you have the opportunity to try a 30-day supply of Cardio Advanced. Simply cover a $4.95 shipping and handling charge. Plus, if you act right now, you'll also receive a free doctor's guide to a healthy heart as a special bonus. Please visit cardioadvanced.com/radio for complete details on claiming your 30-day bottle of Cardio Advanced and free report. That's cardioadvanced.com/radio. Life is too precious to ignore your heart health. Visit cardioadvanced.com/radio now while supplies last.
Are you at least 62 years old like me? Could you use an extra $50,000, $100,000 or more to live a better life? Then please consider the benefits a reverse mortgage can provide to you. With a reverse mortgage, you can have your mortgage payments stopped altogether and get equity out of your home to live on. And you can use the money to help you live a better life. How nice would that be, not to have a mortgage payment? Qualifying for a reverse mortgage is simple, since there are no income, asset, employment, or credit requirements. However, you must be 62 years or older, own your home outright, or have a very low balance on the mortgage, and be prepared to live in it throughout the rest of the loan. Call now for more information.
800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. That's 800-831-1560.
Hello and welcome to your Newsmax Now update. I'm John Bachman. John Kerry says the United States and Afghanistan have come to an agreement that would govern relations between the U.S. military and the Afghan government for years to come, and some might say forever.
I'm pleased to say that in a series of conversations with President Karzai in the course of this morning, even interrupting some of our conversations, that we reached an agreement as to the final language of the bilateral security agreement.
The deal structures how a long-term relationship between the U.S. and Afghanistan will look. Included in those terms, Washington will pay to train and equip Afghan security forces. The deal also establishes the groundwork for keeping armed American outposts in the country. That deal would extend to 2024 and beyond. It would effectively start a new phase in the seemingly never-ending war in Afghanistan. Kerry said the deal would be presented to influential tribal leaders later today. And the Senate voted today to weaken the filibuster rules, which will make it tougher for the GOP to block President Obama's nominees for key posts. Some are calling this the nuclear option. The move was spurred by Democrats' frustration over what they see as a pattern of obstruction on the part of the GOP. Recent judicial nominees appointed by President Obama have been blocked by filibusters. Spearheaded by Majority Leader Harry Reid, the move would eliminate the use of the filibuster against nominees to certain cabinet posts and judicial posts. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren says Democrats had no choice but to do this.
They're saying they don't want this president to nominate anyone to fill those vacancies. They are blocking him from exercising his responsibilities.
The move, which passed along party lines, goes against nearly 225 years of precedent. And Congressman Trey Riddell of Florida will be taking a leave of absence after pleading guilty to a misdemeanor charge of cocaine possession. The Florida congressman says he let down his country, his family, and Southwest Florida, where he represents that district.
I hope to come out of this a stronger man, a better man for all of you.
Riddell, 37, plans to immediately start inpatient treatment for substance abuse. He said he has been dealing with the disease on and off for years. He first came on the radar of federal authorities during an undercover sting operation. Riddell will donate his salary to charity while he is on leave. And talks are underway in Geneva right now between 6 world powers and Iran over its nuclear program. The U.S. and its allies are seeking to limit Iran's ability to enrich uranium. Iran wants relief from economic sanctions. Both sides believe a deal is possible, but Iran's supreme leader says the country will not step back one iota from its nuclear rights. Coming up next on our Newsmax Now update, an exclusive with former UN Ambassador John Bolton. Plus, what happens when an emergency slide inflates while the plane is in mid-air.
Meet John and Nancy. They've spent their lives working hard and saving money, knowing that it would pay off in the end. But unfortunately, all that hard work and smart investing has gotten them nowhere. Then one day, John and Nancy picked up a free copy of Powerful Secrets to Achieve Superior Returns. This book revealed 24 little-known investments that put them back on track to a happy and secure retirement. Get your free copy of Powerful Secrets at myfinancialage.org.
Attention seniors and baby boomers. A new website has been created just for you. SocialSecurity311.com. At SocialSecurity311.com, we reveal a weird trick that could help you add $152,000 to your Social Security payouts. For example, did you know how you file for Social Security can dramatically change the amount of money you collect? One simple step could add up to $1,000 to your monthly payouts. And other loopholes we found reveal 33 ways for big savings on your health care. At SocialSecurity311.com, you will also discover how you could save up to 50% on your groceries, along with 49 other ways to save as much as $50,000 starting today. Newsmax says this website is a critical resource for anyone over the age of 50. So go to SocialSecurity311.com now to find out how you could add extra money to your Social Security checks. That's SocialSecurity311.com. SocialSecurity311.com.
Meet John and Nancy. They've spent their lives working hard and saving money, knowing that it would pay off in the end. But unfortunately, all that hard work and smart investing has gotten them nowhere. Then one day, John and Nancy picked up a free copy of Powerful Secrets to Achieve Superior Returns. This book revealed 24 little-known investments that put them back on track to a happy and secure retirement. Get your free copy of Powerful Secrets at myfinancialage.org.
Welcome back. A JetBlue plane was forced to make an emergency landing after an evacuation slide partially deployed mid-flight inside the fuselage. The plane was on its way from Fort Myers, Florida to Boston and was forced to make an unscheduled landing at the Orlando International Airport. Officials said the flight, which was carrying 74 passengers and 4 crew members, landed safely. No one was injured, but passengers did say that slide knocked a flight attendant down and created quite a scare. I bet it did. And former UN Ambassador John Bolton tells Newsmax during an exclusive interview that despite desperate efforts by the Obama administration, a deal with Iran over its nuclear weapons program would only give the country more time to develop a bomb.
The program is too close to its objective of deliverable nuclear weapons. Iran wants relief from the sanctions. I think that's perfectly understandable, but not at the price of giving up their nuclear weapons program.
And that's going to do it for this edition of your Newsmax Now update.
Broadcasting live from the Newsmax studios, this is the Steve Malzberg Show. Be a part of the action by calling toll-free 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Or email Steve at malzbergshow@newsmax.com. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hour number 2, Friday edition, Steve Malzberg Show, and a man that from what we went through during the George Zimmerman trial, how much I admired Mark O'Mara from afar, and then had a chance to interview him a couple of times, and now he's sitting right here. Mark, great to see you.
Great to see you. Great to finally meet you.
CNN legal analyst and criminal defense attorney. Boy, where to start? First, I was slightly littler than you,
Yep.
but you remember where you were. I kind of don't. I was 4.5, but you were 7 or so, right?
I was 7, second grade, Miss Kenovan at St. Pius School, and that's where it was. And I just remember this pallor coming over her, and then the whole the whole school, and then the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, and you said something interesting off the air. You said, that as a nation, and we mourned for so long, and for a year or whatever, and now. I guess it's the media age, and we're so bombarded. We lose the sensitivity to tragedy, and we see it all the time. And now, you said the kids got killed at Columbine in Connecticut, and after a couple of weeks or a month, we move on.
Oh, yeah, it's strange. It really is sort of different because back then we had 1 or 2 or 3 people you can listen to, right? Walter Cronkite, and you listened to him, and he thought about it, and he was trustworthy and believable. And now it seems like you have to be first to get the news out, and I really think it degrades what we hear.
Yeah, and they get it wrong a lot of times in their efforts to get it out. Let's talk about George Zimmerman, a man who, if I'm correct, you no longer represent.
No, I don't.
You still talk to him at all?
I still talk to him on occasion. I mean, we got quite a friendship if you think about it for the year and a half that we were working together a lot, day by day. But I was really brought in for that done, and that was my job.
What the heck is he doing now? I mean, I thought that when it was over, and and he had no bigger supporter. When I say supporter, I mean I wanted him to be judged on the facts of the case,
sure.
As you presented so brilliantly. But I would have thought he would have gone away for his own safety, go into hiding for a while, certainly lay low, not get out and save people in cars, not brandish a gun, not get involved in any kind of dispute, whether it's legitimate or not. Why do you think this is happening?
Well, you have to think back to who he was back in February 2012. And from all of we know there was the one event of domestic violence, supposedly with his girlfriend. That was really rebuffed pretty well. But you look at him back in 2012, the FBI did an investigation on him. They talked to 40 of his friends and other people who knew him, co-workers, and all of them said he's peaceful, he's calm, he's easygoing, he's certainly not a racist at all. And that's probably our best insight to who George Zimmerman was before this event. Now, you look forward to what happened in 2012, and I know that people don't like when I say that George went through trauma as well because it doesn't compare to what Trayvon went through, but George went through trauma as well. When you shoot somebody, even if it's justified, that's trauma. When our cops do that, they put them through counseling, they take them off the street, they make sure everything's okay, they debrief them properly, they watch them for a year or two. Instead, with George, what happened was he was vilified in the press. All of a sudden, he's a racist murderer. That was the catchphrase. He's put into hiding for 16, 17 months.
And the new Black Panther Party put out a bounty, dead or alive?
Right. So you tell me what's going to happen to a 28-year-old completely ill-equipped to deal with that. And now we look forward after the verdict when finally America might see that he did what he only had to do. And no, there's still this sort of vilification. So I'm not trying to explain bad behavior or domestic violence behavior if those allegations have any truth to them. But if we look at somebody and say this is the fallout from what he went through, maybe it's a little bit easier to understand or explain away.
Of course, in the first incident, and I don't want to get too in depth, but the estranged wife had said that, and there were 911 call that he pointed the gun at her, that he beat up the father, and as it turned out, as far as I know, he didn't beat up the father, and she took back the fact that she ever saw the gun. So we don't know where that stands, and we don't know where the second case stands yet either.
True. We have to wait to see. The one thing that we know we did wrong against George Zimmerman was everybody rushed to judgment against George Zimmerman in the first case, right? Everyone took the snippets and made it the complete story.
Well, when the ex-wife says on Katie Couric yesterday, as she said before, this makes me rethink my support for him in the Trayvon case. And, of course, the media, who despises him, jumps on it and says, whoa, what does this mean? Well, you can't be tried again. He could confess. O.J. could confess. They can't be tried again. I mean, the media, you would think they'd know better.
Well, she makes that statement that she said. I think the first part of it, which is almost a testament to everything that George has gone through, that he's changed, he's a pacing lion. I think that's just evidence of the stress and trauma that he had been through. And I think every one of my clients come in and goes, this is not the person I married.
Absolutely.
Well, we have to take that with a grain of salt, as probably intended.
Now, are you worried about him? I mean, there are questions that the media raises anyway about suicidal. I think the girlfriend said he's not suicidal. Do you worry for his safety at his own hands?
Well, I wish George well, and I wish him peace, and I wish that he could actually walk the streets again the way he did back before February 2012. I don't think he'll ever have the life that he wished he had back. Has he been through an enormous amount? Yes. Do I see this happen with other clients and watch them degrade somewhat? Yes. I truly hope that George can figure out a way to try and get that sense of peace back to himself.
Now, one more. The NBC libel, where they edited those tapes to reflect him saying, or to make up that he said that Trayvon Martin was black and acting funny when he was asked, is he black, white, or Hispanic?
Correct.
They edited the tapes together. Where is that case, and are you involved with that case, or will you be?
It is still pending. I'm local counsel. I don't do that type of work, but I'm local counsel for the attorney who is sort of primary counsel on it. It is still alive, absolutely. It's been in hiatus status because since the criminal case is pending, technically it's still pending because of the motion for sanctions against the state for everything that they did wrong to us, and then a motion for cost. Once that is done, then that case can take off again.
We're talking to CNN legal analyst and criminal defense attorney Mark O'Mara here on the Steve Malzberg Show. You have a blog. You write now. You got a blog, and where people could.
Yes, I do. O'Mara Law Blog, and it's been really good because all of these issues that come up, from anything from some of the police shootings that have happened to some of the self-defense and non-self-defense occurrences we've been talking about on the blog. I
want to get. We're going to have another segment with you, which we'll get to we're going to break in a minute. So I want to save the. You're very big. We talked to you about the law that you hope to help write. That you wrote what you hope will become legislation for anti-bullying, and there was some decision made in a case of a bullying case down in Florida yesterday. I want to get to that, but quickly, the media. How much of the media did you watch during the case? And at the end, when people, I think it was Sunny Houston or whatever her name is on CNN, I'm not asking you to knock a colleague, but nonetheless, when the closing arguments started and your counterpart made them, she said, she took a line from Jerry Maguire, said, he had them write it. He had those women write it hello. He is a sex symbol. They were swooning over him. About him. I mean, did you watch that? Were you aware of that? Did you know that stuff was going on?
No, I didn't realize that Sunny had a crush on John Guy.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Sunny has her perspective on the case. She's more than entitled to.
But she wasn't alone. She happened to say that. They were all rooting against you.
I think there was certainly that percentage out there who wanted a conviction in the case, certainly. But I think the facts were what the facts were, and it wasn't a second-degree murder case when they first charged it. It wasn't anywhere along the way. And let's not forget, the state put on the best case that they possibly could in that case. There was nothing kept out of the courtroom.
Which was a bad case because of the evidence.
It was never a case.
It was never a case, absolutely. And so you didn't go home and watch TV at all? You had no time for that,
well,
right?
We left the courtroom at 5 or 6. We went to the war room we had downstairs for an hour or two. We went back to the office, and we.
How about your wife? Did
midnight.
she say, "Oh my God, you should hear what this one said or that one said"? No.
No. I really didn't get home till 11 or midnight. So what we did say was, "Hello, how you doing? It's good to see you again."
All right, we're going to come back. We're going to continue with Mark O'Mara here from the Northeast, from up here in the New York area,
absolutely.
Queens.
Grew up in Queens.
Very good. I'm a Brooklyn guy, so no wonder there's such an affinity going on here. All right, we're going to continue. 877 Newsmax, of course, is the number. 877 Newsmax. Later on in the show, Quanell X, the spokesman for the new Black Panther Party, will join us, not to talk about this, but to talk about that horrific knockout stuff that's going on, where people are attacked by, usually that I've seen, black teenagers who are looking to knock someone out literally with one punch. We're coming back. Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Men, this is the time. Meet John and Nancy. They've spent their lives working hard and saving money, knowing that it would pay off in the end. But unfortunately, all that hard work and smart investing has gotten them nowhere. Then one day, John and Nancy picked up a free copy of Powerful Secrets to Achieve Superior Returns. This book revealed 24 little-known investments that put them back on track to a happy and secure retirement. Get your free copy of Powerful Secrets at myfinancialage.org.
Are you at least 62 years old like me? Could you use an extra $50,000, $100,000 or more to live a better life? Then please consider the benefits a reverse mortgage can provide to you. With a reverse mortgage, you can have your mortgage payments stopped altogether and get equity out of your home to live on. And you can use the money to help you live a better life. How nice would that be, not to have a mortgage payment? Qualifying for a reverse mortgage is simple, since there are no income, asset, employment, or credit requirements. However, you must be 62 years or older, own your home outright, or have a very low balance on the mortgage, and be prepared to live in it throughout the rest of the loan. Call now for more information.
800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. That's 800-831-1560.
Are payday loans ruining your life? If you have 2 or more payday loan cash advances, listen.
Get payday loan companies out of your bank account and put an end to the payday loan nightmare. Call for free information and find out if Payday Loan Support Center is right for you. Payday loan companies usually trap you into paying rates as high as 700%. We understand payday lenders' tactics. Don't let them take advantage of you anymore. All you need is 2 or more payday loans to qualify. We can help even if you're behind in collections or have bad credit.
Internet payday loans qualify for this program as well. So call 800-250-5084. That's 800-250-5084. The call is free and the consultation is free. Don't miss out. Call for your free information on payday loan relief. 800-250-5084. That's 800-250-5084. Again, 800-250-5084.
Have you hit a brick wall with your weight loss? Does your weight management plan need an extra edge for success? If so, listen up. Metabio is the revolutionary weight loss breakthrough designed to help you reach your goal weight as part of your diet and exercise program. Metabio is the premium nutritional supplement power-packed with 5 high-quality ingredients. When used as part of a healthy lifestyle, each component is formulated to help you reach your goals and maintain your optimal weight and wellness. It supports healthy metabolism and promotes fat loss. Now, learn how you can try a 30-day supply of Metabio. Just cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit themetabio.com/special. Act now and also receive instant access to our downloadable special report, a practical guide to healthy weight management. Try it now at themetabio.com/special. That's the metabio.com/special. While supplies last. themetabio.com/special.
Tonight we are a country awakened to danger and called to defend freedom.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
One day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
And breaking hearts. Aww. This is the Steve Malzberg Show.
All right, folks, welcome back. Mark O'Mara, criminal defense attorney, CNN legal analyst, is still with us. Thanks for staying. Appreciate it. All right, so let's talk about your passion right now, I think, is fair to say, and that is this bullying that's been going on. And you and I talked a few weeks ago. You had written something that you hope to become legislation and law in Florida, holding the parents of kids who are bullying other kids responsible for their actions, especially if the bullied kid does something to themselves. Correct. Let's talk about this case down in Florida that was just updated yesterday. Charges dropped against 2 teenage girls accused of stalking their Florida classmate who later committed suicide after complaining of being bullied. These 2 girls were on the hook for a while. One of them was the parents of one of them was ridiculed because she said, my daughter did nothing. The girl said, I didn't do anything. I don't even care what happened, and nothing happened to them. So this, I'm sure you're not happy about what happened here.
Well, I'm not happy. I mean, as a criminal defense lawyer, I don't like moral laws holding people responsible for crime. But in a case like this, you have to look at it and say, look, we know it's a problem, and it's a burgeoning problem. It is not going away. Kids are getting so desensitized to their actions, whether it's from violence they see on TV or whether it's the video games that they play. No matter what, they are getting desensitized. So they don't mind being vicious.
Yeah, look at the knockout stuff I was just talking about.
Yeah, that's absurd.
You watch yourself in the street. I'm not kidding.
It's absurd. Yeah. So I think that the kids should be held responsible. And even though the stalking statute that the prosecutors were trying to apply didn't apply, and I get that, I think we should identify what cyberbullying is and make it a criminal act. And more importantly, and more controversial than that, if a kid is 13 or 14 years old and mom and dad are doing nothing to supervise them, so much so that they get to that point of just gross negligence, of true culpability, then I think they should be held responsible. We hold them responsible for certain things, right? They've got to get them to school. They can't let them near their guns. They can't let them drive their cars. Now the internet, which is a wonderful tool, can also be a vicious, vicious weapon. And this is the test case for how a weapon can cause a child to kill herself.
All right, but let me play devil's advocate, and I did a little bit last time we chatted as well. Kids are bullied and have been bullied since you and I went to school.
Absolutely.
I know the internet is different. I know it's more widespread, and it could reach many more people through the internet. And it's more constant through the internet, and once it's there, it's always out there, and people could forward it on. So it's not just you calling someone a name in the schoolyard and it goes away; it goes into the air. Having said that, though, kids, the normal reaction to being bullied. I mean, and again, I don't mean to sit in judgment, but isn't to kill yourself. So if your kid is going to kill themselves, and not, some do, and I once wrote a story on how the media focuses on just one aspect of bullying more so than others, and I listed a whole bunch of kids who would kill themselves for, they had red hair. 2 girls that made a pact and they were picked on for red hair. They took carbon monoxide or hanged themselves, I think. Terrible stuff. But that's not a normal reaction. Shouldn't parents know that, hey, something's not right with my kid, that if they're picked on or called names or humiliated, they're going to kill themselves? So where does the parents of the victim, where does their responsibility also enter into it? Why just the parent of the perpetrator and the perpetrator themselves? I mean, am I making sense?
They're all great points, and they're all good questions, and they're all good concerns. This is a very complex issue. It's not going to be resolved with one bill that says mom and dad are now responsible. But we have to realize that the bullying in the schoolyard that I grew up with is a lot different, and it's not quite as vicious, in my opinion, because, like you said, it is much more widespread and much more infectious. The bully in the schoolyard didn't follow me home and sit at my dining room table. It didn't follow me at home at night, and when I'm going to bed at night, get me online or text me online. So it is much more invasive. And the reality is, quite honestly, had that bully in my schoolyard when I was growing up maybe been intervened, maybe said, look, wait a minute, you're beating up 4 kids a week here. Maybe that kid wouldn't have turned out to be the murderer, right, that we're dealing with today. I'm not saying all bullies become murderers, but we have to be realistic about this. That child, Guadalupe, the 14-year-old who was eat, bleach, and die, I don't care, and now that she's killed herself, I don't give a blank.
And she was just let off the hook.
You tell me that child doesn't have some issues that should be outlined, addressed, and intervened at this point? Because I'm telling you, we will deal with her in the criminal justice system. This isn't some passing fad that's going to go away.
Was that the one with the mother who we saw on tape beating someone up?
Yes. And who said, by the way, oh, yeah, I watch her Facebook all the time, and I watch her. Maybe you should have watched the YouTube because you were on it. So that type of true gross negligence where you are so unaware of what your children are doing, if you're unaware of their internet presence, that you don't care or don't see that they're doing that to children, what else are you not watching? Are you not watching the drugs they're using? You're not watching the pornography? You're not watching the adult TV?
But Mark, and not to interrupt, but I think you conceded the last time that there should be a record of a warning at least. It's not just that you don't know what your kid's doing on the internet, but if they're warned and ignore it, it's a different story.
And here's the best way to look at it. When I'm not just saying one tweet gets mom in jail. That's absurd. But if your kids are acting in a way where you have no supervision whatsoever, or if the school, like you said, if the school says, look, there's bullying going on here, watch your kid, and it still happens, or if you do notice the tweets or the Facebook and you do nothing, when are we going to hold them responsible? Look at it this way, and we talked about this. If your kid is playing in the front yard, no big deal. If your kid keeps running out into the street, the busy street, and you're sitting there having a beer, at some point you're responsible, right? Well, this is the same thing. We're letting our kids take weapons that even mom and dad don't know how vicious they can be, and use them to damage other people. At a certain point, you got to be responsible.
It's tough, and and it's
very complex.
And I have a 14-year-old, and thank God he's never been bullied. He gets along with kids, and but I mean, anything could happen. You never know. I could be my whole perspective could change one day, that he could be picked on, or he could be picking on someone else. It's tough. It's tough. And parents in this day and age, not to make excuses, but especially when you see the mother beating someone up on a video, but they work, they don't know, they come home, they cook, they can't know everything, but you do need to know what your kids are watching, what they're learning, what they're doing. That's the
thought is, by the time a kid is 18, he has involved himself in over 200 to 400 violent acts online. How immune do you become when you're killing 100,000 people in a video game, and then we don't worry about what that's going to do to your kids interacting with other kids?
It's a whole nother world. All right, so you could enjoy your night in New York, beard, and got a victory in a case that was being tried in the media, and I think it's dangerous because they think you're this or that, or you're the other guy's the underdog for whatever reason. They're going to convict you in the media. So people like you are very, very necessary.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming up.
No, great to be here.
We'll speak again. All right,
good.
Mark O'Mara, give the website again, the blog.
O'Mara Law Blog.
O'Mara Law Blog.
Come
Okay.
take a look. Comment.
All right, folks, we're coming back. Noel Shepard joins us. It's Friday. It's the middle of the show, and it's time for Malzberg's Media Madness with Noel Shepard of Newsbusters on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV, and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
In 2013, Are you at least 62 years old like me? Could you use an extra $50,000, $100,000 or more to live a better life? Then please consider the benefits a reverse mortgage can provide to you. With a reverse mortgage, you can have your mortgage payments stopped altogether and get equity out of your home to live on. And you can use the money to help you live a better life. How nice would that be, not to have a mortgage payment? Qualifying for a reverse mortgage is simple, since there are no income, asset, employment, or credit requirements. However, you must be 62 years or older, own your home outright, or have a very low balance on the mortgage, and be prepared to live in it throughout the rest of the loan. Call now for more information.
800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. That's 800-831-1560.
Do you suffer from joint discomfort? Contrary to what the experts may say, achy joints do not have to be a normal part of aging. Holistic doctor David Brownstein challenged conventional thinking to focus on natural solutions for joint health. As a result, Dr. Brownstein has recently developed Limbex, the premium nutritional supplement specifically formulated to support healthy joints and connective tissue. It's a new joint breakthrough formula containing 11 hand-picked nutrients. Learn more at limbexjoint.com/special and take the 30-day Healthy Joint Challenge. That's a 30-day supply of the Limbex Joint Supplement. All you pay is a $4.95 shipping fee. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to Happy, Healthy Joints at Any Age. You can do something about joint discomfort and flexibility. Learn how you can try it for 30 days at limbexjoint.com/special. That's limbexjoint.com/special. limbexjoint.com/special.
Hi, this is Mike Reagan. Folks ask me, what would Ronald Reagan do if he were with us today? I believe the first thing he'd do is stop Obamacare. Already it's in effect with higher taxes, hidden fees, skyrocketing insurance rates, big Medicare cuts, and some insurance plans are hit with a 40% tax. Protect yourself by getting the Obamacare Survival Guide. It's already a #1 New York Times bestseller. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law, giving you the strategies to professional, just about anyone. You need this book. Get the #1 bestseller, The Obamacare Survival Guide, at bookstores everywhere. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by going now to Obamacare911.com. Obamacare911.com. That's Obamacare911.com.
If you're a man over 40, your prostate could be forcing you to urinate frequently, even disrupting your sleep multiple times each night. You're not alone. Over half of men over 40 experience age-related prostate concerns. Fortunately, prominent medical doctor David Brownstein believes that aging prostate concerns are not inevitable. That's why Dr. Brownstein developed Prostate Revive, an advanced dietary supplement containing a unique blend of 15 ingredients designed to promote optimal prostate health. So men, as part of this new radio promotion, you now have the opportunity to claim your own 30-day supply of Prostate Revive, containing saw palmetto, beta-cytosterol, and numerous other prostate helpers. Just cover a $4.95 shipping and handling charge. Plus, if you act now, you'll also get a doctor's guide to a healthy prostate as a bonus gift. Please visit prostaterevive.com/radio for details on getting your 30-day supply of Prostate Revive and free report. That's prostaterevive.com/radio. Do something about those annoying age-related prostate concerns. Visit prostaterevive.com/radio now while supplies last.
This is not your typical Screamfest talk show.
No.
This is the next generation of talk radio. Here is Steve Malzberg.
Well, it's sad, pathetic, and disgusting. And Martin Bashir isn't just a cable news host. He's the former co-anchor of Nightline, so he has had a significant journalistic career. I'm glad he apologized. He talked about the politics of vitriol and destruction, of which he's been a prime practitioner. He has a very slashing and personal style. But where are his bosses at MSNBC? Not a syllable from the network executives. There has been no disciplinary action that we know of, no suspension of Martin Bashir, even though MSNBC a couple of years ago had suspended another talk show host, Ed Schultz, for calling Laura Ingraham a right-wing slut. This is, I'm not justifying that, this is so far worse, it is so beyond the pale that I even hesitated to bring it up on my show because it's pretty gross.
All right, there you go. Welcome back, Steve Malzberg Show. It's time for Malzberg's Media Madness with our friend, the one and only Noel Shepard, Associate Editor of Newsbusters.org. Hello, Noel.
Hello, Steve.
How are you? Can't you believe it's Friday again?
I know it's they come faster and faster. Actually, my partner and I have always joked about this, how the years are going faster and faster, but the days seem to go slower.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. All right, let me ask you this. That was Howard Kurtz, of course, and you did a story on what Howard Kurtz said about Martin Bashir and his disgusting, filthy remarks about Sarah Palin, where he said that someone should urinate and defecate in Sarah Palin's mouth. But what Howard Kurtz said is still true. A couple of days later, we had Bashir's apology. But still, as far as I know, nothing from the network and no disciplinary action whatsoever. I mean, I still don't understand, even from them, how this is possible.
Well, and moving back to Howard Kurtz for a second, I mean, I had tweeted him on Sunday. You know, he's got a show on Fox News now called Media Buzz. And I tweeted him and Lauren Ashburn, who's his cohort on the show, why they didn't bring this up. They talked about Alec Baldwin, but they didn't bring up Bashir. So, I mean, he didn't come. Now, his comment to Martha McCallum was, well, it was a little bit too gross. Well, then why are you talking about it now? I mean, he had an hour show on Sunday, never said a peep about this. I watch him every Sunday and have potentially the most vile person currently on television, maybe Mars.
Well, you said that on this show 2 weeks ago before this latest episode.
Yeah, exactly. So where has Howard Kurtz, the media analyst, been about Martin Bashir prior to this point? He's routinely saying, now, this was the worst thing. Frankly, I think this is the worst thing I've seen anybody other than Bill Maher say.
I agree with you.
When I first saw this, and as I'm sure you know, I'm the one who broke this story.
Yep.
So when I first saw this on Friday, this was right after you and I hung up on Friday. He did this. This is how I'm hanging up with you and I'm going and watching Martin Bashir. I had to play it several times because I really couldn't believe that he went in this direction, and I was concerned how to report it because of how vile it is, I guess to a certain extent, I'm therefore supporting Howard Kurtz not doing it. But we're a conservative website. We're a family website. I actually got on the phone with the managing editor to ask him, how do we handle this on our kind of a website? And we kind of can. We decided not to in the headline reference in the mouth. We thought that was just not that our readers wouldn't like that. But I don't know how he survives this. I mean, I think it's interesting that we brought up or Howard brought up Ed Schultz calling Laura a right-wing slut or a talk slut. He gets a 2-week suspension for that. This is significantly worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure if I've ever seen anything like this from anybody on TV.
Noel, I agree with you. I can't. I've never heard anything like this in my life. I can't imagine. I mean, it's worse that it was about a woman coming from a man. I couldn't believe. I felt for sure some shoe was going to drop something, but nope. I guess it's acceptable. And you're right. I picked up on that too with Kurtz. He almost wasn't going to talk about it on the show. Well, that would have been nice.
Yeah, he never did say a word. But they brought up Alec Baldwin. I thought Rush had an interest in him. And it's not just Rush. A lot of people are talking about this. If this had been, let's say, Bill O'Reilly or anybody on Fox making such a comment about Hillary Clinton.
End of career.
Well, and conceivably, they're off the air immediately.
Absolutely.
Somebody hears this. They're off the air immediately. They shut it down.
Absolutely.
They say, what are you, crazy? Get the hell out of here.
Absolutely.
And this was a final commentary. What a lot of people missed on this is this wasn't an off-the-cuff remark. This was a written, scripted, from the teleprompter, 2-minute-long diatribe with supposedly quotations from or citations from this plantation owner.
Yeah.
Right. So lots of people had to have been aware.
Absolutely. It was written. It was loaded into the teleprompter. It was a segment. The producer had to know he was going to do this. Absolutely. Yep. I'm just flabbergasted.
Heads have to roll, but it doesn't look like heads are going to roll. It looks like he's going to skate on this. And the other thing about this is he's got one of the lowest rated shows on cable news. I mean, he typically does. I mean, you're going to be shocked by these numbers. Maybe not. He typically does about 60,000 in the demo. That's it. He typically does under 400 in total. I mean, nobody watches this show.
For a show that's on every cable, every cable is carried by every cable carrier in the country. We're talking about, a few thousand in every state. That's just incredible.
It's exactly. So to me, this is a good opportunity for Griffin to say, you know what, we're done. Your ratings stink. You're nothing but a vile, disgusting pig. We're done. And what I would have liked to have seen, I mean, he did a really good apology. But it would have been interesting if the other commentators and hosts on MSNBC decided, you know what, we got to tone this down. Clearly, they weren't given such a message. I mean, I don't know whether you saw whether it was yesterday or the day before, Michael Eric Dyson going after Matt Lewis of the Daily Caller, basically saying you're invoking white privilege, trying to interrupt.
Yep. I'm trying to disrupt a black man, and that was on Bashir's show. And Bashir told Matt
to calm down and let him
calm
speak.
down. Yep. I saw that. I played it yesterday. I believe was that you or one of your colleagues who had it on Newsbusters?
Yeah, Ken wrote about it.
Yeah. So I did have that. All right, just disgusting. Let's move on. We gave it certainly it deserved the time it's gotten because I've never seen anything like it in my life. All right, let's go to something that very refreshing. That sticker or that question, do you miss me yet, about Bush? Boy, oh boy, do I miss him. So when he was on Leno, I just watched the whole thing. I never watched Leno. I'm either watching reruns of Everyone Loves Raymond or Seinfeld, or I'm going to sleep. But I made it a point to stay up. And here's a part of what George W. Bush, cut 41. Here it is. Do we have cut 41?
You're about to head out to pasture. Just want to see what you look like before you got to the gate.
Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you very kind. Now, I know you've avoided talking policy for the last 6 or 7 years. Explain why.
I don't think it's good for the country to have a former president criticize his successor.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, President Obama's kind of getting all the late night jokes now. Are you?
Better him than me.
Well, there you are. Are you glad you aren't president now?
Yes, I am. Yeah. 8 years is plenty.
Yeah.
And then he went on to say when Laura Bush came out, and Laura Bush said, boy, you must have been really scared when he had that heart situation. And she said, yes, I was very. And he said, I wasn't scared.
I wasn't scared. Yeah.
It was just such a great, refreshing, and I just loved it. It made me feel so warm. And then I realized, wait a minute, back to reality.
Right. Well, the thing that was interesting is early on, Jay was thanking him for coming on because Bush doesn't do a lot of interviews.
Right.
And he said, well, only for you.
Right. And then they explored the relationship they have later on. Yeah.
They clearly have a very nice relationship. Jay goes down there and does events when Bush is doing things for the troops, and Bush does a lot of things for the troops, the Wounded Warriors, as you know.
Yep.
So they clearly that was neat, and having Laura there as well. Yes, it was very refreshing.
Yeah.
It's not what we're going to see. It's not what we're going to see when Baba Wawa sits down with the Obamas the night after Thanksgiving.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because you wrote about that today on newsbusters.org in your blog there in your column, and Barbara Walters will interview Barack Obama, First Lady Michelle Obama in their first joint interview this year. I don't know. I mean, she was interviewed on BET the other day, and she revealed that the president sings all the time. Now she then went on to say he's always in the bathroom. Now, she didn't say he sings in the shower. So I said maybe this is why he's late for his press conferences. This is maybe why he's detached. This is why he doesn't know and nobody could tell him anything, because she said he's always in the bathroom and then wanting to know if he should sing something for us. I can't picture any of that, to be honest with you, but this should be a softball love fest.
Oh, yeah. Well, they have she has quite a history of softball love fests. I don't know whether it was last year or the year before, whether it was Thanksgiving or Christmas. She asked him if he could be any superhero, what would he be and what superpower would he like?
Yeah, that's
question,
great.
Huh? Yeah.
But he also told her, and she didn't ask this, she said, what trait do you dislike about yourself most? And he brought up that he was lazy. So he's the one who called himself lazy, which was interesting. All right.
Well, that makes him racist.
Yes, absolutely. One more. I wanted you to hear, this is a great piece you wrote with Jon Stewart and Bill Cosby. And Cosby was talking about how he saw Stewart either perform or up in front of a bunch of people, and he curses in his act, and he cursed at that point. And here Cosby surprises Stewart. Here's cut 40.
I'm 76 years old. What you have to understand, Jonathan, from whence I cometh, when people cursed, the next thing is somebody was going to hit you. What? Yeah. See, now there's a whole new culture. Yes. People curse and they laugh. But for me, when you were cursing, I started crying.
No.
Yes, because
I wasn't cursing, it was Yiddish.
Yes.
All right, but Bill Cosby was referring to a show that Stewart did for Wounded Warriors called Stand Up for Heroes, and this was Cosby's way of telling him, hey, get the curse words out of your act.
Well, and it would be nice if that would be the case, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that's part of his act. And what's kind of sad with the Stewart is, certainly we don't like his politics. This is a very, very funny, very, very bright guy. And I mean, I don't know if you feel that way. I very much do. And I used to love his show. I don't know whether we've ever spoken about this, but prior to 2004,
we only have about less than a minute, so go ahead. I just want to tell you.
Really quickly. Prior to 2004, John's show was a must-watch. But then once the campaign started, he clearly was totally for Kerry and totally against Bush, and that's when he became rather tough to watch.
Right, but kudos to Cosby. He speaks his mind again, right?
Yeah, and he really doesn't need the vulgarity. I don't know why they feel that helps. I mean, he's such a talented, intelligent person. I don't think he needs the vulgarity, but he's clearly not listening to me.
Yeah. Hey, listen,
Maybe he'll listen to Phil.
Have yourself a great Thanksgiving. We'll reconvene in 2 weeks, God willing, and I appreciate all you do for us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too.
Take care. Noel Shepard, ladies and gentlemen, of course, associate editor at News. You're not going to want to miss him on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV, and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Are you at least 62 years old like me? Could you use an extra $50,000, $100,000 or more to live a better life? Then please consider the benefits a reverse mortgage can provide to you. With a reverse mortgage, you can have your mortgage payments stopped altogether and get equity out of your home to live on. And you can use the money to help you live a better life. How nice would that be, not to have a mortgage payment? Qualifying for a reverse mortgage is simple, since there are no income, asset, employment, or credit requirements. However, you must be 62 years or older, own your home outright, or have a very low balance on the mortgage, and be prepared to live in it throughout the rest of the loan. Call now for more information.
800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. That's 800-831-1560.
Do you owe the IRS? Do you have unfiled tax returns? Have you received a wage garnishment or bank levy? Maybe a lien has been filed against you. OMG Tax can help you with all your IRS tax problems. Don't wait another second. Take action now. Call my team at OMG Tax. Honest and professional, we don't make false promises. If you owe back taxes, or if the IRS is garnishing your paycheck, you need help now. OMG Tax can help you get your life back to normal. If you're serious about handling your tax matter, call OMG Tax now and get the peace of mind you deserve. Don't let the IRS take your next paycheck. Stop waiting and call our team at OMG Tax. OMG Tax has a straightforward, no-nonsense approach and has helped many Americans resolve their IRS nightmare. Call OMG Tax now.
Call 1-800-255-6485. That's 1-800-255-6485. 800-255-6485.
It's a very special documentary and commemorative issue of Newsmax magazine celebrating the centennial of President Reagan's birth. First, here's a video clip from the award-winning documentary Rendezvous with Destiny.
We're in the midst of a springtime of hope for America.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Impulses of an evil empire.
Tear down this wall.
I believe that together we can keep this rendezvous with destiny.
In the next several minutes, you will learn things about President Ronald Reagan that you've never seen, heard, or read before. Welcome to today's special Newsmax event celebrating the life and legacy of President Reagan. During this historic presentation, we will commemorate President Reagan's storied life. We'll revisit his 2 terms in office and recollect his proudest achievements and greatest challenges. Ronald Reagan's life reads like a fairy tale of success stories. He was an accomplished athlete, an honored veteran, a famous actor, the governor of California, and of course, our nation's 40th president.
He called himself a citizen politician and only entered politics when he warned government was gaining too much power. By then he was age 54, with a successful career behind him. Twice elected President of the United States, Ronald Wilson Reagan was a contradiction to some. Once a Democrat, then a Republican. A champion of smaller government whose own government grew. A fiscal conservative who failed to balance the budget. His critics mistook his affability for weakness, but behind the smile and the charm existed an extraordinary leader with unique skills and bold and revolutionary ideas.
We only had time to share just a few of the top defining moments in Ronald Reagan's presidency, but you'll get to see them all in Rendezvous with Destiny. By the way, the president's close relationship with the Pope is especially fascinating. You'll also learn how dealing with an alcoholic father helped shape Reagan's ability to negotiate. And if you ever wondered what the leader of the free world likes to get for the holidays, well, you'll find that out as well. So let's review today. In this free offer, we are sending you a copy of Ronald Reagan, Rendezvous with Destiny, and the collector's limited edition of our issue commemorating the 100th anniversary of President Reagan's birth.
Right now, when you subscribe to Newsmax magazine, you can own both the DVD and receive the special Reagan 100th birthday commemorative edition. That's $25 in bonus gifts when you subscribe. Go to newsmax.com/Reagan13 to subscribe today. Join the millions who read Newsmax magazine every month.
The Steve Malzberg Show is just a bit different from the other radio shows. We have TV cameras. Watch the show at Newsmax.com or listen on your favorite radio station. Here's Steve Malzberg.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. Very interesting. One other piece that I wanted to get to Nola with or about when he was on, but we ran out of time. He wrote a piece talking about Russell Simmons, okay? Russell Simmons, hip-hop mogul. Russell Simmons writing on his, is this his blog? Let's see, Road to Obamacare Thursday. I guess it's his blog, whatever it is, but here it is. He says that Obamacare has already saved hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of lives. This is the utter ignorance or purposeful lying that is taking place on the part of the left. Okay, I run websites. I built websites. I certainly understand the complications of servers and load times and 404 errors. This can all be fixed, he writes, and it will be fixed. But what cannot be fixed is the fact that for over 100 years, we've tried to reform our healthcare system, and every president before Barack Obama failed, writes Russell Simmons. Yes, we initially wanted single payer, and if we had a compromise back in 2009 for the Affordable Care Act, but it's a damn good piece of legislation that has already saved hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives. How? How do you even figure? How do you even... I mean, does it not matter? Why don't you just say it's saved billions of lives around the world? Why stop it at millions here in the U.S.? Whose life has it saved? It isn't. I just read this to you, as Noel put it. He said it's the funniest thing he's read all week. I think it's the most outrageous thing I've read in quite some time because they lie. Just lie. Say anything. Again, either Russell Simmons is a moronic idiot who has no clue about what he's saying and really believes this, or he's a bald-faced liar. I don't see any in between. Hundreds of thousands of lives have already been saved by Obamacare when people haven't even signed up for it yet. Millions, maybe millions. Yeah, that's the ticket. Billions, baby. I just don't know where they come off. So you either know they're either stupid or they're liars. No other way. Nothing in between. Well, what? They're a little stupid and a little liar? I don't know if that would hold any water. But nonetheless, there you go. Now, talking about stupid or liars. CNN's CNN's Chris Cuomo, sorry. Talking to Will Cain about health care. Let's listen to cut number 24.
The concept of a solution bias is this. Whenever we present a problem, we always assume there's a solution, and that solution must come from the government. I believe, conservatives believe, solutions can exist outside the constructs of government.
Of course, but that's a specious premise, because this is healthcare. It has to deal with the government. You have to have the government involved with healthcare, and you know that. You had free markets in different states. It became such a calamity. There was so much abuse by insurers in this country, and people know it, from slow walking to denial to claim. Now, my brother.
That's not a free market. We haven't had a free market in healthcare for decades.
They control the entire market. That's the problem, and that's why you had to check it. And there are millions of Americans who have dealt with those problems.
Health insurance
you had to address them.
All right. Now, I think Chris Cuomo means this. The government has to be involved in healthcare, he says to Will Cain, and you know it. Now, this is a man, another radical left-wing host, this one is on CNN, who goes around saying in interviews, I have no political persuasion. I have no political bent. I'm right down the middle. Really? The government has to be involved in health care, my friend, and you know it? That's right down the middle? I mean, who are they trying to kid? And he's wrong. You do not have the ability to buy health insurance across state lines. That's something that the Republicans wanted desperately to pass into law. Open up the market. Let there be competition around the country. Why only one or two choices within each state? That would lower prices. Competition would weed out the bad policies, would weed out the exploitive policies, would bring the prices down because there'd be more competition. It's the Democrats who don't want that. And it's Chris Cuomo who's wrong about his take on where we are with the insurance industry, the health insurance industry, and have been. Will Kane is right for decades now. What else? Then there's Mika. Mika, let's go to cut 22. Mika.
This is the question that gets asked to us on the road. I was just on book tour with Joe about the future of the Republican Party, his book, which writes about that. And one of the points he makes was illuminated in a question that we get everywhere we went, which is, why do Republicans not want Americans to have health care? And that's what they think.
And the Republicans' ability to answer that question is every bit as important as the Obama administration's ability to fix everything that's been wrong.
Because all they've been doing is making sure this doesn't work.
All right. Why don't the Republicans want Americans to have health care? Well, also, Republicans, don't forget, want dirty water to drink, polluted air to breathe. And the answer is simple. Because Republicans have their own secret supply of air for themselves and their families, their entire extended families, their own supply of drinking water for themselves and their entire families, and their own secret doctor network where they could get themselves and their families secret health care. Steve Malzberg Show. Don't go away.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Have you hit a brick wall?
Hi, this is Mike Reagan. You need to watch out because thousands of new Obamacare rules are currently being implemented, and few know what the law says or does. Listen to what Senator Max Baucus, one of the authors of the Obamacare law, recently said.
I tell you, I just see a huge train wreck coming down, and I don't see any results yet. I just see a huge train wreck.
He's right. So protect yourself from this train wreck. Get the #1 bestseller, The Obamacare Survival Guide. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law. Join more than 500,000 Americans who have their copy. Get the Obamacare Survival Guide at bookstores everywhere. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by going now to Obamacare911.com. That's Obamacare911.com. That's Obamacare911.com.
When you were younger, you probably never considered your heart health. But cardiologist Dr. Chauncey Crandall knows from experience that taking steps to care for your heart becomes more crucial as the decades pass, if you want to keep this vital organ ticking smoothly for years to come. That's why Dr. Crandall recently developed Cardio Advanced, a nutritional supplement containing 12 special ingredients, all selected to help improve and maintain your heart health and normal cholesterol levels. The flagship of this exclusive formula, esterified plant sterols, may help lower your risk of heart disease when taken as part of a diet low in cholesterol and fat. And great news, now you have the opportunity to try a 30-day supply of Cardio Advanced. Simply cover a $4.95 shipping and handling charge. Plus, if you act right now, you'll also receive a free doctor's guide to a healthy heart as a special bonus. Please visit cardioadvanced.com/radio for complete details on claiming your 30-day bottle of Cardio Advanced and free report. That's cardioadvanced.com/radio. Life is too precious to ignore your heart health. Visit cardioadvanced.com/radio now while supplies last.
Hello and welcome to your Newsmax Now update. I'm John Bachman. John Kerry says the United States and Afghanistan have come to an agreement that would govern relations between the U.S. military and the Afghan government for years to come, and some might say forever.
I'm pleased to say that in a series of conversations with President Karzai in the course of this morning, even interrupting some of our conversations, that we reached an agreement as to the final language of the bilateral security agreement.
The deal structures how a long-term relationship between the U.S. and Afghanistan will look. Included in those terms, Washington will pay to train and equip Afghan security forces. The deal also establishes the groundwork for keeping armed American outposts in the country. That deal would extend to 2024 and beyond. It would effectively start a new phase in the seemingly never-ending war in Afghanistan. Kerry said the deal would be presented to influential tribal leaders later today. And the Senate voted today to weaken the filibuster rules, which will make it tougher for the GOP to block President Obama's nominees for key posts. Some are calling this the nuclear option. The move was spurred by Democrats' frustration over what they see as a pattern of obstruction on the part of the GOP. Recent judicial nominees appointed by President Obama have been blocked by filibusters. Spearheaded by Majority Leader Harry Reid, the move would eliminate the use of the filibuster against nominees to certain cabinet posts and judicial posts. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren says Democrats had no choice but to do this.
They're saying they don't want this president to nominate anyone to fill those vacancies. They are blocking him from exercising his responsibilities.
The move, which passed along party lines, goes against nearly 225 years of precedent. And Congressman Trey Riddell of Florida will be taking a leave of absence after pleading guilty to a misdemeanor charge of cocaine possession. The Florida congressman says he let down his country, his family, and Southwest Florida, where he represents that district.
I hope to come out of this a stronger man, a better man for all of you.
Riddell, 37, plans to immediately start inpatient treatment for substance abuse. He said he has been dealing with the disease on and off for years. He first came on the radar of federal authorities during an undercover sting operation. Riddell will donate his salary to charity while he is on leave. And talks are underway in Geneva right now between 6 world powers and Iran over its nuclear program. The U.S. and its allies are seeking to limit Iran's ability to enrich uranium. Iran wants relief from economic sanctions. Both sides believe a deal is possible, but Iran's supreme leader says the country will not step back one iota from its nuclear rights. Coming up next on our Newsmax Now update, an exclusive with former UN Ambassador John Bolton. Plus, what happens when an emergency slide inflates while the plane is in mid-air.
Meet John and Nancy. They've spent their lives working hard and saving money, knowing that it would pay off in the end. But unfortunately, all that hard work and smart investing has gotten them nowhere. Then one day, John and Nancy picked up a free copy of Powerful Secrets to Achieve Superior Returns. This book revealed 24 little-known investments that put them back on track to a happy...
Hi, this is Mike Reagan. You need to watch out because thousands of new Obamacare rules are currently being implemented, and few know what the law says or does. Listen to what Senator Max Baucus, one of the authors of the Obamacare law, recently said.
I tell you, I just see a huge train wreck coming down, and I don't see any results yet. I just see a huge train wreck.
He's right. So protect yourself from this train wreck. Get the #1 bestseller, the Obamacare Survival Guide. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law. Join more than 500,000 Americans who have their copy. Get the Obamacare Survival Guide at bookstores everywhere, or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by going now to Obamacare911.com. That's Obamacare911.com. That's Obamacare911.com.
Meet John and Nancy. They've spent their lives working hard and saving money, knowing that it would pay off in the end. But unfortunately, all that hard work and smart investing has gotten them nowhere. Then one day, John and Nancy picked up a free copy of Powerful Secrets to Achieve Superior Returns. This book revealed 24 little-known investments that put them back on track to a happy and secure retirement. Get your free copy of Powerful Secrets at myfinancialage.org.
Welcome back. A JetBlue plane was forced to make an emergency landing after an evacuation slide partially deployed mid-flight inside the fuselage. The plane was on its way from Fort Myers, Florida to Boston and was forced to make an unscheduled landing at the Orlando International Airport. Officials said the flight, which was carrying 74 passengers and 4 crew members, landed safely. No one was injured, but passengers did say that slide knocked a flight attendant down and created quite a scare. I bet it did. And former UN Ambassador John Bolton tells Newsmax during an exclusive interview that despite desperate efforts by the Obama administration, a deal with Iran over its nuclear weapons program would only give the country more time to develop a bomb.
The program is too close to its objective of deliverable nuclear weapons. Iran wants relief from the sanctions. I think that's perfectly understandable, but not at the price of giving up their nuclear weapons program.
And that's going to do it for this edition of your Newsmax Now update.
4, 3, 2, 1. Broadcasting live from the Newsmax studios. This is the Steve Malzberg Show. Be a part of the action by calling toll-free 1-877-Newsmax. That's 1-877-639-7629. Or email Steve at malzbergshow@newsmax.com. Here is Steve Malzberg.
Honored and privileged to start the hour with a man who started on the streets of New York. He was NYPD Congress and has written a wonderful new book, Life Inside the Bubble. You see the cover there now on Newsmax Television. Why a top-ranked Secret Service agent walked away from it all. Dan Bongino is with us. Dan, thanks for stopping in.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Thank you. Great to see you. All right, so why did you walk away from it all? And what was it about this administration that prompted you to do so?
Yeah, it was a tough decision, Steve. It was something my wife and I deliberated on for a very long time. And we gave up everything, our financial security, our health care, you name it, we gave it up. And we're middle-class folks. You know, I can't dump $1 billion into a race to win. It was a long-shot race, but just seeing...
Well, you're running in the 6th Congressional District in Maryland,
that's right,
as a Republican.
As a Republican in Western Maryland. It was tough, but it was really this patronage and punishment system that I saw in government. And I want to be clear, it's not a strict indictment of the Obama administration in general. It was more a 12-year, during my 12 years in the Secret Service, a 12-year disappointment. It's kind of like going to your favorite restaurant and you walk through the kitchen and you see the chef sweating in the soup. You never eat there again. Well, it's the same thing being behind the scenes of government. It was really disappointing to see how it's just used as a patronage system and a punishment system, which is even more disturbing for those who are supporters.
Well, first of all, explain when you left, you were protecting the president.
That's right.
So you were with him on a day-to-day basis, and you would accompany him wherever he went.
Yeah, travel with him overseas, and I actually left from the Baltimore field office. Reason being, I left the president's detail in December of 2010, and I really did not want to incite any potential controversy by resigning from the detail, specifically to run for office. So I left, and I went to the Baltimore field office for a while, hoping it would calm down a bit, and maybe I would change my mind. Well, I didn't, and the controversy started anyway.
Okay, well, you talk about punishment. We know about the patronage, even though this president promised that would stop, but we've seen outrageous examples of it. But what about the punishment? I'm interested to hear about the punishment.
Yeah, well, we have the public stories and we have the IRS story that everybody knows about. But the odd thing is there's a bunch of scandals that in and of themselves are really devastating, potential game changers. But in the fog of scandal this administration's created using government as this weapon, it seems as if all of these scandals have gotten lost. I always bring up this one. It's not the sexy one, but the EPA. The EPA charging conservative groups, confiscatory amounts of money to get records and then waiving the fee for liberal groups. I mean, that's using government as an economic weapon against conservatism. Most people haven't even heard about that. That's because this fog of scandal with this administration, it's like giving a 9-year-old keys to a Cadillac Escalade. They don't know what to do with it, so they get in and they just run everybody down on the street.
Yeah, I mean, I can't keep up with the scandals. You go from one day to the next. Now you have the nuclear option in the Senate on the heels of the disaster with health care to try to change the topic, and then what's it going to be tomorrow? It's IRS, Benghazi, journalism under attack. I mean, it just doesn't end. Do you believe that this president, whether you know it or not, do you believe this president has an enemies list, as has been speculated?
I think he uses government not as a political weapon. He uses it as a personal weapon against this. I mean, he said so much. Valerie Jarrett's even intimated the fact. He spoke on Univision, and it was talking about, punish those who don't support us.
The Republicans were enemies, he said.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's a reflection of his sheer lack of experience with government. President Clinton, whether you agreed or disagreed, had been, been a governor, attorney general beforehand. President Bush had been around government. President Obama had almost zero experience with government. I mean, his time in the U.S. Senate was limited. He had lost a congressional seat. He was a state senator. That was it. And all of a sudden, he's immersed in the White House with all this power. And I really do believe it corrupted him.
And the myth. I mean, Bill Clinton himself, when he was running, Obama was running in the primaries against his Hillary, said that he's the biggest made-up story going. He also called him a Chicago street thug politician. One of the made-up stories, apparently, and you know better than I, that he had received more death threats than any other president. I mean, what do you know about that?
Yeah, I write about that in the book because it was, I believe it was a media effort to give them credit. They did debunk it. I think it was PolitiFact later on, but the story was just accepted as fact without any real critique. The story is completely made up and fabricated. The escalation in threats over the years to presidents is really more of a reflection of social media. You know, if you and I are in a bar and I make a threat to the president, if you don't report
nobody's going to know it.
If a tree falls in the woods.
But some idiot puts it on Twitter, and then it's
the whole world reads it. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, the Obama administration. There's always an uptick in threats on a new president, and there's always an uptick in threats longitude. It fit their meaning.
Because he's black.
Right, because it was a racist country. Listen, Steve, we all know there are fools, there are racists everywhere.
On both sides, on all sides, absolutely.
But there wasn't some epidemic level of threat to President Obama that wasn't there with President Bush or President Clinton.
We're talking to Dan Bongino. He is the author of Life Inside the Bubble, Why a Top-Ranked Secret Service Agent Walked Away from It All, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. What bothered you the most? I mean, compare the two men, if you would. President Bush, I saw him on Jay Leno yesterday or the other day, and I tell this story every time I see him. I sound like a square, like a fool, like an idiot. It brings a tear to my eye because I long for the days. Say what you want about the man. I believe that in his heart, he did what he believed was right for the country he loved. Tough decisions, man of faith, turned to his faith, but I don't doubt for a second he loved America. He wanted to do what was best for America. Now, I don't know what to think about Barack Obama. I don't know what he feels about America, although I have a good inkling. I don't think that's what George Bush feels. I don't think that he's doing what he feels is best for the country. I think he feels what he's doing what's best for his agenda. Most of America thinks he's dishonest and untrustworthy. I don't feel like he has our best interests at heart.
Yeah, I think what the difference with President Obama is he does, and you alluded to this in your question, he does what's best for his ideology. And you know, there's all kinds of questions that always get brought up about him. And I'll tell you this, his religion is government on evidence. I mean, look, think about it in terms of the current debate on Obamacare, and this should prove my point. It's slapping you in the face right now how big government medicine can't possibly work. Technocratic medicine, bureaucratic medicine. It's a failure. It's all, even the mainstream media is all over him.
Absolutely.
And what does he do? Just like someone trying to tell you if you're a Christian, Jesus Christ didn't exist. It's your faith. It's his faith in government that despite the evidence, he sticks to it no matter what.
He doubles down.
But it doesn't matter. The penalty's not real for him.
Right.
He's got his own doctor in the White House.
Right.
The penalty's for us, Steve. We're the ones getting punched in the face.
Let me ask you about his religion. I mean, I believe he's a Christian because he says he's a Christian.
Yeah.
You know, he joined a church and didn't take too much heat because McCain never brought it up and Romney never brought it up with Reverend Wright, who I think has a lot of race problems, and we could go into that, but we don't have the time. But Richard Wolff, who did a book on Obama's first term or first campaign, big liberal, MSNBC, said that he only joined the church, Obama told him, for political expediency, to have street cred. He barely ever went to the church.
Yeah.
Is he a religious man in your view, Barack Obama?
Well, you know, you don't meet them on a personal basis like that, so I really wouldn't know what he does on his own time in his residence. But I have to believe my impression of him is his religion really is government amongst anything else. That he believes in this this ideological quest for bureaucratic. Thomas Sowell calls it the vision of the anointed. Like we're the anointed ones, and we're going to rule over your lives.
Right.
And that is ultimately his North Star, no matter what.
We got 1 minute. You're running 6th Congressional District, Maryland. Your opponent sliming you. Now you're going to be slimed yourself for 30 seconds. They say, you don't want poor people to have health care.
Yeah.
Answer.
And I fired back that it's odd that they're creating a system right now where second-tier medicine, poor people are going to get insufficient health care. So, ironic.
You got a website people could contribute to your campaign?
Yeah, please. It's BONGINO.com.
BONGINO.com. It's almost like BINGO, but BONGINO.com.
That's right.
Don Bongino, Life Inside the Bubble, Why a Top-Ranked Secret Service Agent Walked Away from It All. The book is chock full of wonderful behind-the-scenes stories that you definitely want to read and find out more about. I appreciate you coming up.
Thanks
Great to meet
Steve.
you. Nice to meet you. All right, folks, we are coming back. Busy show today. 877 Newsmax if you want to weigh in. 877-639-7629 right here on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio. Thank you.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
I used to sleep like a baby. Now I have to get up in the middle of the night just to go to the bathroom. And not just once.
Men, if you suffer from frequent urination, the inability to empty your bladder, a hesitant urine stream, or leaking due to an aging prostate, listen to this. Renowned physician Dr. David Brownstein believes this does not need to be an inevitable part of aging. After extensive research, Dr. Brownstein has recently developed Prostate Revive, the dietary supplement specifically formulated to help improve and sustain normal prostate function. And now you can receive a 30-day supply of Prostate Revive. Just cover a $4.95 shipping fee. For complete details, visit prostaterevive.com. Guide to a healthy prostate. Learn how you can try Prostate Revive for 30 days at prostaterevive.com/offer. Hurry, limited time offer. That's prostaterevive.com/offer.
From everything you hear, you think all cholesterol is bad, but that's not really true. You need a certain amount of cholesterol to maintain good health. The problem is that too much cholesterol in your blood contributes to a plaque, a fatty substance that narrows the coronary arteries that feed blood flow to your heart. Picture your coronary arteries as a 4-lane highway. If one lane becomes blocked, traffic spells trouble. It's the same way with your coronary arteries. And when plaque slows their blood flow to your heart, this can even cause a heart attack. The good news is that when it comes to cholesterol, lifestyle changes can pay off big time. Even a small reduction in plaque can be like opening up another highway lane. Suddenly, blood flow that was stalled can go forward again. Changing your lifestyle does not have to be hard. And in fact, here are 3 ways to help you start lowering your cholesterol. Snack on nuts. Nuts are probably one of the easiest and tastiest ways to lower cholesterol. Walnuts and almonds are among the best. Bulk up your diet with fiber. Choose whole fruits instead of a fruit juice, brown rice instead of white, and if you're eating a baked potato, be sure to leave the skin on. Choose fish. Fish contains cholesterol-fighting omega-3 fatty acids. I'm Dr. Chauncey Crandall, and thanks for watching this Heart Health Minute. Remember, it's never too late to prevent or reverse heart disease. Right now, I invite you to discover your own risk for heart disease or even a heart attack by taking my quick, free online quiz at www.simplehearttest.com.
When you were younger, you probably never considered your heart health. But cardiologist Dr. Chauncey Crandall knows from experience that taking steps to care for your heart becomes more crucial as the decades pass, if you want to keep this vital organ ticking smoothly for years to come. That's why Dr. Crandall recently developed Cardio Advanced, a nutritional supplement containing 12 special ingredients, all selected to help improve and maintain your heart health and normal cholesterol levels. The flagship of this exclusive formula, esterified plant sterols, may help lower your risk of heart disease when taken as part of a diet low in cholesterol and fat. And great news, now you have the opportunity to try a 30-day supply of Cardio Advanced. Simply cover a $4.95 shipping and handling charge. Plus, if you act right now, you'll also receive a free doctor's guide to a healthy heart as a special bonus. Please visit cardioadvanced.com/radio for complete details on claiming your 30-day bottle of Cardio Advanced and free report. That's cardioadvanced.com/radio. Life is too precious to ignore your heart health. Visit cardioadvanced.com/radio now while supplies last.
Meet John and Nancy. They've spent their lives working hard and saving money, knowing that it would pay off in the end. But unfortunately, all that hard work and smart investing has gotten them nowhere. Then one day, John and Nancy picked up a free copy of Powerful Secrets to Achieve Superior Returns. This book revealed 24 little-known investments that put them back on track to a happy and secure retirement. Get your free copy of Powerful Secrets at myfinancialage.org.
Are you at least 62 years old like me? Could you use an extra $50,000, $100,000 or more to live a better life? Then please consider the benefits a reverse mortgage can provide to you. With a reverse mortgage, you can have your mortgage payments stopped altogether and get equity out of your home to live on. And you can use the money to help you live a better life. How nice would that be, not to have a mortgage payment? Qualifying for a reverse mortgage is simple since there are no income, asset, employment, or credit requirements. However, you must be 62 years or older, own your home outright, or have a very low balance on the mortgage, and be prepared to live in it throughout the rest of the loan. Call now for more information.
800-831-1560, 1560. That's 800-831-1560.
Do you owe the IRS? Do you have unfiled tax returns? Have you received a wage garnishment or bank levy? Maybe a lien has been filed against you. OMG Tax can help you with all your IRS tax problems. Don't wait another second. Take action now. Call my team at OMG Tax. Honest and professional, we don't make false promises. If you owe back taxes, or if the IRS is garnishing your paycheck, you need help now. OMG Tax can help you get your life back to normal. If you're serious about handling your tax matter, call OMG Tax now and get the peace of mind you deserve. Don't let the IRS take your next paycheck. Stop waiting and call our team at OMG Tax. OMG Tax has a straightforward, no-nonsense approach and has helped many Americans resolve their IRS nightmare. Call OMG Tax now.
Call 1-800-255-6485. That's 1-800-255-6485. 800-255-6485.
In 2013, half of your friends, family, and neighbors may lose their jobs, all while you are robbed of 90% of your life savings, investments, and home's value. Controversial economist Robert Wiedemer, who was the only expert to predict the recession, has released a startling video with shocking evidence that the powers that be have tried to ban. But that hasn't stopped 50 million people from getting the truth. Watch it at aftbook.com. That's aftbook.com.
Constipation, gas, bloating, most people suffer through. But now there's a simple solution for occasional digestive problems called Bactipro. Developed by holistic medical doctor David Brownstein, Bactipro is the fiber probiotic formula that supports healthy digestive and immune health. And it comes in the form of an easy-to-eat, tasty wafer. Bactipro contains 6 powerful strains of beneficial probiotic bacteria, dietary fiber, and bacteria-nourishing prebiotics, plus powerful antioxidants. Now you can receive a 30-day supply of Bactipro. Just cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit Bactipro.com/special. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to Probiotics and Your Health. Improve your digestive health now. Learn how you can receive your 30-day supply at Bactipro.com/special. That's BACTIPRO.com/special. Bactipro.com/special.
there's no one walking up behind them.
Well, this, yeah, and I mean, even as Jesse Jackson alluded to a long time ago, that if he sees a group of teenagers or young men walking down the street, or he hears them behind him, and he's relieved to see that they're something to the effect that they're white or not black. But this, I mean, this takes it to a whole nother level. I mean, Drudge links stories. He didn't break this news, so there are stories from Channel 2 here in New York where it's happened in Jewish areas, and also from other cities, and one in particular where one person turned a gun on his attacker. The attacker tried to knock him out with a taser, and he turned around and he pulled his gun and he shot the guy twice. So, I mean, you say it's not new. So, how long has this been going on? Is this something that prevalent in the African American young community that I just haven't heard about until now?
Wait a minute. Drudge has been reporting these stories for at least 2 or 3 years, and it has involved gangs of young, mostly African American, if not all, going into stores. They call them flash mobs, and in some cases it's been just them going into stores, just ripping off the merchandise. I'm talking about maybe 15 or 20 people.
Oh yeah, no, I know about that, and we've had the author of White Girl Bleed a lot on this show, so I'm no stranger to the black crime, the gang attacks and on whites, and the ordinary attacks on whites, not in the gang form. But I'm well aware of all that, and the media doesn't report any of it. You're absolutely right. But this, I mean, this is something that's I don't know, a lot worse for the person who's the victim. They could fall, hit your head, and be killed if you're punched by someone and you don't see it coming. And these people go down and they're just unconscious, and they lay there, and either they're dead or they're very seriously injured. So we're just wondering if this knockout game was something that's been going on for quite a while.
I mean, maybe it's been called something different, but to me, it's the same old crime. That crime is a problem in black communities, especially among black youth. It doesn't get attention. The only time we hear the civil rights community involved is when someone is killed, when there's someone that's shot that's unarmed. And apparently these young people are unarmed. They're armed with a fist. And people, are going to try to protect themselves. And so you can expect that if this continues, you will find more people that will be shot as a result. Maybe the young people will lose their lives, and then you'll get the civil rights community up in arms. I believe that we have an opportunity right now to get involved in addressing the problem, and that we have to stop making excuses for young people's crimes, for violence in the black community. We have to stop ignoring it. We have to stop making excuses for it, and we have to begin to hold people accountable. Because if you don't hold them accountable for their acts, then they're going to continue to behave in an irresponsible manner.
Yeah, all right, well said. Carol, as always, thank you very much. Enjoyed having you. Bye-bye. Carol Swain, ladies and gentlemen, author and professor at Vanderbilt University School of Law, here on the Steve Malzberg Show, talking about the vicious knockout game, which is sweeping America, unfortunately. And we're going to hopefully be joined by Quanell X, national spokesman for the new Black Panther Nation, it says here. I don't know if that's different than the new Black Panther Party or not, but we'll talk to him about this and see what his take is. And I can't wait for that, because I can imagine that his take on it and my take on it are going to be quite different. Now, I do have a report here from WILX TV, WILX TV about something in Lansing, Michigan, an event that took place, and that's where the 17-year-old tried to tase his victim, and the victim pulled out his legally carried handgun and shot the 17-year-old twice. He wasn't killed or anything. As a matter of fact, the 17-year-old is now in jail. I think he got a year. So let's listen to cut number 36 of the report. Here's cut 36.
This homeless man from Chicago is the victim of a game gone viral. Point him out, knock him out. On the web, there's countless videos of teenagers attacking random strangers, then running away. It It's been reported in cities like Milwaukee, Chicago, St. Louis, and now Lansing. A man waiting at a bus stop for his 6-year-old daughter to be dropped off from school had no idea that he would be the city's first reported victim.
I hadn't had any enemies or any reason to believe that they would be looking or doing anything to me.
All right, so there you go. Those of you who are watching, you saw some horrific, scary video that went with the words in that story. In particular, the woman walking down, never saw it coming, and a homeless man, a poor homeless man, walking around. The guy walks up to him and just winds up and pow on the jaw, and he went down. They look like they're dead. I mean, I hope they're not dead. But here's how this story turns out. Here's cut number 37 about the Lansing incident.
He shoved something into my side. I wasn't sure what it was. It had some force to it. I wasn't sure if it was a knife, if it was a gun.
17-year-old Marvell Weaver was shot twice. He's been sentenced to a year in jail for the attack, but he admits he's getting off easy.
It was just a lesson learned.
But Weaver says this wasn't the first time he played it. Before he was caught, he and his friends had attacked random people on several occasions.
Not many, I'd say overall, like 6 or 7. I mean, we don't try to rob them or anything. That's just the game.
It's a game. It's a game. How sick and twisted and desperate and perverted do you have to be? When I say perverted, I don't mean sexually. I mean, what kind of perverted sense of right and wrong, perverted sense of decency do you have to walk up to a defenseless person and not even challenge them to a fight, but to get them when they're not looking? And it's like dropping a frying pan on their head. It's just insane. And a year in prison is not do it justice. Now, the New York I think state legislature is looking to increase penalties for this. I mean, I don't know what you charge someone with, who does this with, but it should be, it can't be attempted murder. I don't think they're trying to murder them. But certainly you have to understand that you're going to seriously injure this person that you're going to hit. No? Now, Adam's trying to find a story. He says that he believes a woman might have pulled out her gun on 2 of these thugs somewhere and actually killed them. I haven't seen that. I should say it's not on Drudge, and I haven't seen it before today. But we'll if we find it, we'll certainly let you know. A 15-year-old arrested for a knockout attack in Philly. 4 arrested in the Brooklyn attacks. It's just crazy. It's insane. So I've warned my loved ones who have business to be in New York City, in Manhattan, you better watch it. You see kids, you think they're just kids, or you don't see anybody, look behind you. Look behind you frequently, because they're picking you out where you can't see them, and they're coming up from behind or on the side where you can't see them coming, and the only thing you're going to know is you're going to be knocked out. You're going to be waking up. Hopefully, you're going to be waking up if you didn't split your head open on the sidewalk or the curb by smacking your head when you go down. So you have to be alert. You have to be very alert. I told it to Mark O'Mara. He's here with his lovely wife in the city. When he left, I said, watch it. Just watch yourself, because these people, I don't want to call them animals, because I get mail when I call these animals, and people say, why are you insulting animals? Animals would never treat their own this way, and that's absolutely true for the most part. So anyway, whatever you want to call them, you just have to watch it. I told my son when I drove him to school today, I told him about it, and he thought it was just one isolated incident that happened somewhere or whatever. I said, no. It's happening all over the place. And I said, chances are, in the suburbs, it hasn't been happening that much. But you never know. Kids are nuts. Outsiders come into neighborhoods. They're nuts. And it's just crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. All right, when we come back, hopefully Minister Quanell X, the national spokesman for the new Black Panther Nation. Again, I'll ask him if that's the new Black Panther Party or if it's separate. Can't wait to hear his take on all of this. Maybe we'll agree, maybe we'll disagree, but it's a good way to wrap up the week on the Friday edition of the Steve Malzberg Show on Newsmax TV and radio. Don't go away.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Attention seniors and baby boomers.
Meet John and Nancy. They've spent their lives working hard and saving money, knowing that it would pay off in the end. But unfortunately, all that hard work and smart investing has gotten them nowhere. Then one day, John and Nancy picked up a free copy of Powerful Secrets to Achieve Superior Returns. This book revealed 24 little-known investments that put them back on track to a happy and secure retirement. Get your free copy of Powerful Secrets at myfinancialage.org.
Hi, this is Mike Reagan. You need to watch out because thousands of new Obamacare rules are currently being implemented, and few know what the law says or does. Listen to what Senator Max Baucus, one of the authors of the Obamacare law, recently said.
I tell you, I just see a huge train wreck coming down, and I don't see any results yet. I just see a huge train wreck.
He's right. So protect yourself from this train wreck. Get the #1 bestseller, The Obamacare Survival Guide. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law. Join more than 500,000 Americans who have their copy. Get the Obamacare Survival Guide at bookstores everywhere, or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by going now to Obamacare911.com. That's Obamacare911.com. That's Obamacare911.com.
Do you owe the IRS? Do you have unfiled tax returns? Have you received a wage garnishment or bank levy? Maybe a lien has been filed against you. OMG Tax can help you with all your IRS tax problems. Don't wait another second. Take action now. Call my team at OMG Tax. Honest and professional, we don't make false promises. If you owe back taxes, or if the IRS is garnishing your paycheck, you need help now. OMG Tax can help you get your life back to normal. If you're serious about handling your tax matter, call OMG Tax now and get the peace of mind you deserve. Don't let the IRS take your next paycheck. Stop waiting and call our team at OMG Tax. OMG Tax has a straightforward, no-nonsense approach and has helped many Americans resolve their IRS.
Metabio.com/special while supplies last. Metabio.com/special.
In 2013, half of your friends, family, and neighbors may lose their jobs, all while you are robbed of 90% of your life savings, investments, and home's value. Controversial economist Robert Wiedemer, who was the only expert to predict the recession, has released a startling video with shocking evidence that the powers that be have tried to ban. But that hasn't stopped 50 million people from getting the truth. Watch it at aftbook.com. That's aftbook.com.
Attention seniors and baby boomers. A new website has been created just for you. SocialSecurity311.com. At SocialSecurity311.com, we reveal a weird trick that could help you add $152,000 to your Social Security payouts. For example, did you know how you file for Social Security can dramatically change the amount of money you collect? One simple step could add up to $1,000 to your monthly payouts. And other loopholes we found reveal 33 ways for big savings on your health care. At SocialSecurity311.com, you will also discover how you could save up to 50% on your groceries, along with 49 other ways to save as much as $50,000 starting today. Newsmax says this website is a critical resource for anyone over the age of 50. So go to SocialSecurity311.com now to find out how you could add extra money to your Social Security checks. That's SocialSecurity311.com. SocialSecurity311.com.
Get off the sidelines and be a part of the show. Call Steve toll-free at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. And we are joined right now, as promised, by Minister Quanell X, national spokesman for the new Black Panther Nation. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine, sir. Good evening. How are you?
Good. Now, is the pardon my ignorance, but is the new Black Panther Nation the same as the new Black Panther Party, or is that different?
No, we were all once united as one group, but we broke away and separated and formed the new Black Panther Nation because of internal philosophical differences.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this knockout stuff that's going on. We have a report of a 160-year-old woman shot and killed 2 teens after she was punched. We have a gentleman who was he was attacked and he shot and wounded a 17-year-old attacker who's now in jail. But this is going on, all over the country, and it's usually black teens attacking non-blacks, whites. In the case of Brooklyn, it's Jews. What the heck's going on here?
Well, let me first say that any teens or any human being that is preying on the innocence of another human being in a quote-unquote game or whatever it may be is an extreme cowardly act. And if it appears to be that African-American youth have made this something popular among themselves as a subcultural practice to attack innocent human beings and attack elderly women or women, period, then it is something that we all should be concerned about, and it is something that we in the black community, as men in particular, must get directly involved with and do something about this.
Well, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more, and it wouldn't matter. I mean, if it were white kids doing it to blacks, I would certainly be just as outraged, but I also tell you the media would be putting it all over, the page one and as their top story every night. Some of these pictures, these videos, which I'm sure you've seen of a woman being knocked out cold, but they don't even give them a chance to see them coming. They just approach them from the back or the side, and boom, right to the jaw or the head. And if it was the other way around, if it was whites attacking blacks, I think the media would be more inclined to make a big deal about it. Do you agree?
I have to be honest with you that if this was a case of white youth walking around targeting African-American individuals, the outcry would be greater. And we have to be honest. Just because the victims in this case are white, we cannot look to treat them any different if the victims were black. And in this case, it's being treated different. It is true. And that is extremely unfortunate because the media has to be willing to call it for what it is. I'm not saying it's a hate crime because I don't know the motivation of all those involved and those who've been charged. But one thing I do know, attacks on innocent human beings like this has to be dealt with regardless of what the race of the perpetrators are. But there would be a different media spin on this if it was a bunch of young white kids targeting African Americans. Unfortunately, because of the shameful, wretched history of violence involving race in America, where white people were the main perpetrators against African Americans, the media would feed into the historical context and make it a present-day issue.
Yeah, well,
it shouldn't give it the same amount of attention.
I couldn't agree, couldn't agree with you more. And I got to tell you, I didn't know what to expect from you, Cornell, because I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know if you were still, with the new Black Panther Party, and I certainly have my differences with them, and I didn't know much about the new Black Panther Nation. But if this is any indication, we certainly agree on this. But let me also ask you, what about quote-unquote black leadership? I know you'll agree with me, or I think you would, that if this were the other way around, Al Sharpton would already be having protests through some cities' streets where this is happening. But I haven't heard, and maybe it's just me, but I haven't heard boo from Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, or any of this quote-unquote black leadership about this. Have you?
No, I have not, but I believe it's extremely important that black leadership begin to take a real self-inventory of those of us who call ourselves leaders. Let's truly examine what our motives are. And if our motives are really truly help our people become a better people in this nation, to help America become greater, we have to attack the issues of black-on-black crime. The greatest crime in this country among black people right now is black self-hatred in the guise and in the sense of black-on-black crime. We have become the number one killers of self. And so, therefore, we cannot look at some small incidents of white-on-black crime, and then we say, now that should be the national outcry, the national issue, when you have more of our young brothers sending other young black people to the emergency room and to the morgue in one weekend than what some white people may be doing in a whole year.
Well, Cornell, then why is that the case? Why don't they react to the problems within the community, as you say, which are so many more hundreds or at times more serious? Why do they pick what they know the media will run with? Is this a money-making venture? Is this a publicity-making venture for them, for the people involved as quote-unquote leaders? Or why?
I'm going to be honest with you. The media has assumed some responsibility in this. There have been many occasions where we here in Texas have dealt with issues of black-on-black crime and dealt with issues of black men mobilizing, going after other black men who've committed crimes within the black community, in particular against our women and children. Sometimes one media camera will show up. Sometimes no media will show up. The media in America is not interested in black leaders or black organizations mobilizing and fighting against black-on-black crime. To them, that's not sensational enough, and that's not headline news enough for them.
Listen, Cornell, I'm up against a hard break. The show's over in 15 seconds. I hope you'll come back, all right?
Thank you for having me.
All right, my pleasure. That's Minister Cornell X, national spokesman for the new Black Panther Nation, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. I don't know much about the organization, so I can't endorse it, but I endorse what he has said. Steve Malzberg Show, have a great weekend, everybody.